You're listening to Backlog Banter with your host, Serial K86.
Hello, greetings, and xin chào everyone to another episode of Backlog Banter. I'm your host, Serial K, and for this episode I got two guests. The first one is a guest who haven't joined us for a while, but he was a regular before that. But I'm glad to have him back at the show, and that would be my good friend Otis, aka MeleeMario720. Welcome back, man.
Yep. No, it's good to be back.
Yeah. You haven't, due to time constraints and stuff like that, we couldn't have you for a little bit, for a while.
Yeah, I literally had a work shift just before that, but thankfully I had like an hour's gap to prepare, so it was fine.
All right, so it's good to have you back, Otis, and let's introduce our second guest. So for the second guest, it's someone I wanted to have on the show for quite a while, for like almost 2 years, and I'm happy to have her back on the show. So yeah, welcome back to the show, Palette. Long time no see.
Yes. Yeah, hello. It's good to be back here. Last time, I don't think it went that well, but you seem to be, I was happy to be on. You seem to be happy as well. I'm glad to, be on the show again. Hopefully things will go better this time, less rambly, and recording on something completely different this time. So hopefully the audio quality will be better. So yeah.
I was fine. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just great to have you both back in the show.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get along.
Yeah.
We're all just fine.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so.
So how's it been for you lately? Things and stuff like that. Something you want to share or something.
Mixed, I would say. I've got technically I have a new computer, like a full desktop because. Oh wait, no, I haven't even described the weird Mac crap I had to go through, didn't I?
Oh?
I probably haven't. I don't even know if I tweeted about it or anything because it's like okay. Just to break it down. Basically, my Mac died. Actually, probably Serial. I think you might know this. I tweeted about it a while back, but not what happened after.
I think, yeah. What happened after? I don't remember what you said about it.
So basically, the Mac died after I took it in to get it fixed. So it technically works, but I was like, well, I don't want to deal with any more Mac crap because you had to keep charging the battery constantly, and I already have to deal with that with the Surface, which is what I'm using at the moment. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I'll just have a PC built for me, although I have no idea how one is built. Had it built on a trip to Wales, brought it back, and it turns out the Windows key was already a used one, so it was another lot of waiting to get a new key. So hopefully, hopefully the one I've got now should work.
Oh, good
and
Lord.
then I've got to worry about copying a bunch of crap over. So that's the short version.
Oh boy.
Yes.
This is why you don't use Mac.
No, screw them. Yeah, screw them. No more Mac products after this. If I wasn't given one, I would have never used it.
This is coming from the same person who's using an iPhone right now to record this, but yeah, whatever. Fuck Mac.
I see the phone as it's a separate entity, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes. As for me, as for me, if there's anything I want, that's worth mentioning, I'd say I've recently got Kirby in the Forgotten Land a few days ago, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really having fun with it.
Yeah, I've seen the tweet thread.
Yeah, I occasionally do that whenever I play a game that I'm passionate about.
I still don't own a Switch. I need to get on that. Although I did get to try a PS5 when I was in Wales, and yeah, Rift Apart is the main reason I want one. Although I'm split between that and getting a Switch. That's only if, like, say, in the slim chance Bayonetta 3 comes out this year.
Yeah.
Because it was announced, and then it's like, I have a feeling it might be pushed back. I mean, Zelda was, so, we'll see how that goes.
Didn't they announce a release date for Bayonetta or something?
They say
Not a date, the year, I thought.
late 2022, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's that, and it's like, yeah, sure, I could see myself getting that day one. Because I did that with 1 and 2 on the Wii U.
Yeah, I still own I still own my copy of Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Wii U.
Yeah, I haven't really played it myself, but I always want to get into new things. I really want to try it. So, yeah, mainly just in terms of consoles, I mainly just have my Switch at the moment. All my old game consoles, we gave them away recently, actually, to one of my father's friends, I think. So it's mainly just my PC, my laptop, and my Switch at the moment. And I guess the old Xbox, the old 360 too. Yeah.
The white 360 or the
black one? The black one. I think it's like one of the later models.
Oh, the Kinect compatible one.
Yeah, I think it's like the Slim.
That's the good version. The one that won't red ring on you.
Yeah.
So you made a good choice there.
Yeah, it was my brother's actually, but we haven't really, pulled it out. We haven't really played it in quite a while.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of the main reason why we gave away all, my old consoles too. So, oh well.
I still keep most of my old hardware because with 360 stuff, even though with the backwards compatibility, not every single game is there on the store. So, I collect for both basically. That I actually went through a bit of a thing where I swapped certain PS3 games for 360 versions. Not all of them. There are some I did keep, like that MGS collection, because 2 and 3 were delisted. But that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So the reason why I gave it away, the big thing about that is that I have a TV and it doesn't have component cables. It doesn't have those, red, white, yellow, those wires.
An HD screen, huh?
Yeah, an HD TV, yeah.
That's so weird because every HD screen I've seen has SCART, although apparently SCART is more of a European thing.
I used to have an HD TV that used to have that as well, but I gave that away and replaced it with a more recent one, which doesn't have any of those component.
I know you can get converters.
Yes.
As well, but I've never. We have the opposite sort of converter, an HD to component connector, because I tried it with my Xbox One and it thought it was a 4K screen, so that was funny. So imagine this little CRT that I reserved just for light gun games on PS1, and it says, hey, it's a 4K display. Do you want to display it like that? It's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what. It was some weird setting. I think it set off. But yeah.
Yeah, and another different topic. I believe you also, since it's also appropriate, since we have Palette with us on board, I believe you also watched the Sonic 2 movie twice in a row now.
Thing is, it hasn't come out here yet. It's coming out next week, though. I'll probably watch it by then.
Same. It's gonna be next weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah,
this upcoming weekend. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it twice.
But don't you live in the UK though, Serial?
No, different country.
Oh, okay. I always thought you lived in the UK because every Michael Rosen YouTube pooper.
Not everyone. No.
Not everyone.
But an alarming amount.
I'm an example, yeah. I met the guy.
Yeah, I know you guys got it early in the UK.
Which was weird. Same with the Bad Guys, actually. Both came out April 1st. America still hasn't got Bad Guys yet. And honestly, those two movies are so good, I can't put one above the other. Like, I saw Sonic 2 twice, and the only reason I did was because I had nothing else to do in town. So I thought, hey, Sonic 2 is showing, and, you know, why the hell not? Go see it a second time. Different cinema, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was playing locally as well, but our local cinema doesn't have as good sound. And with such, like, dialogue-heavy, snappy humour, you know, it's like... I was like, you know, I'll just go for the one with the better sound system, basically.
Yeah.
But no, you'll definitely like it, I guarantee it. Bad Guys I recommend too. Great film.
Yeah, I've seen the trailers for that one, The Bad Guys. That looks really good. I want to... You know, DreamWorks this year has been kind of on a roll, like, at least in terms of their visuals. Like, I don't know how...
Yeah, because I don't know what my last DreamWorks movie was that was new. Like, I actually skipped a bunch. Same with Pixar.
I always keep up with Pixar. DreamWorks, not so much. I think the last one I saw was the last How to Train Your Dragon, the third one.
Oh yeah, same. I know they did.
Yeah,
the
that was the
Troll
last one I
movies.
saw.
Yeah, they did the Troll movies, and that was it, really.
Yeah, and there was also that sequel to Spirit that came out.
Oh,
I
forgot that was a thing. The thing where it's like
it was based on
I
the
never saw
Netflix
the original
show,
Spirit,
and it was
but I
not
was like-
actually a sequel.
no,
Spirit Untamed.
yeah.
I
It's
saw.
just
Yeah.
generic. It's just generic horse movie.
Yeah,
now.
I saw that one with my niece. I had to go with her.
Oh no.
Oof.
I'm guessing it was just mediocre at best.
Yeah, it was harmless but forgettable.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It seemed very direct to DVD.
Yeah.
That's the shit I love, because honestly, it's like on Netflix they have all 4 open seasons, and I'm like, what? Wait, they made more than one. The first one already looks like a direct-to-movie sequel.
Yeah.
They made
Yeah.
they made another open season.
Yeah, on Netflix
3 more.
you have 1, 2, 3, and Scared Silly.
Holy crap!
Yes. So, yeah, and they couldn't keep on the same voice actors each time. And
Yeah.
they're Sony animation movies, and it's like these look like complete ass when compared
I
to
mean,
the
they
later
are
work.
direct DVD movies. They're probably not as big of a budget.
Honestly, Surf's Up 2 Wave Mania was better than those.
The literal WWE commercial. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
the one where Vince McMahon milks a fish. Classic.
Oh, yeah, milks fish.
Yes. Not what I expected to talk about tonight.
Jesus.
Oh god.
One of my animation teachers. You know, I'm actually studying animation now at like one of those online animation schools, like for 3D animation specifically.
Okay.
So one of the teachers that I had for one of the terms, she worked on the first open season, so like that, and the first Surf's Up. So now she's doing like a whole bunch of visual effects work. I think it like, yeah. So bleh.
Interesting
Losing
link.
train of-
Yeah, I did animation class too, but it was like a while back, and it was mostly 2D stuff, which I still do occasionally.
Yeah, mostly do like on the 3D side of things. You know, anything that's, you know, I can draw pretty well, but like not consistently, which is why I don't do 2D animation. Like I wanted to do 2D animation, but I just can't develop that skill. You know.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, I never really got 3D aside from using occasional things like as backgrounds, really. It's 3D backgrounds I can grasp, it's 3D characters I can't. I'd like to learn, because Blender does not work well on the Surface, but I'm thinking with the new PC, it's like, hey, I might actually give it a shot now. I'll try something funny with like a PS2 model or something if it's like rigged up.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
see what I can do.
Some of that stuff just floating around there. PS2
Yeah.
models, like,
Yeah,
that sort of style.
I have a bunch of
Little poly
Ratchet
stuff.
Clank models stuck in T-poses because they don't have any bones.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Anyways, that's the last thing I'd expect to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, so
yeah, and it's
I came here
animation.
to talk about video games, and and we ended up talking about
Milking fish.
Milking fish.
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus.
All right. I think it's about time we move on to our picks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have fun, but yeah, it's time to move on. So we'll start with you, Palette. What game would you like to talk about for this episode?
Okay, so anyways, for my pick, slightly notorious game, though that may be a bit of an understatement, Cuphead. So,
I've
Yeah,
seen the
Cuphead.
cartoon, never played the game.
yeah, you're missing out on the game though. Both are good. I'll get to both. I'll get to the
I'll
cartoon.
play it. I'll play it. I mean, I have it on PC technically, but like, I think Switch
haven't
seems like the most
installed it
fitting
yet.
format.
Yeah, I have it on Switch, so
Good.
that worked really well, especially in handheld. So I feel like on a big TV, like with like some of the stuff they expect you to dodge, I can't see everything on like a big TV on my big HD TV. But on like in handheld mode, it's fine. I can work with it.
Yeah, it's not even. I thought it was on Xbox Game Pass or something, but it isn't because I know Microsoft had some involvement with the development.
Yeah, it was exclusive to Xbox for a little
Because-
bit, but then it came to everything else. Xbox
Yeah.
and PC.
Yeah, because I think the closest game I have to that or have played was Alien Hominid, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. I played the Flash version. I haven't played the one on console.
Yeah, there's
It was originally a
HD and
Flash
then
game.
you have the original Xbox version. I got it because hard copy. But I imagine Cuphead is probably... Actually, I shouldn't say it's more fair, because I know I've heard it's like infamously, difficult. And is there an easy mode and you don't get everything if you finish on that? something.
Yeah, basically that's it. There's like two difficulties: simple, regular. Simple, it's like a bit more stripped down, but you can't really, proceed. Regular is just like it's basically just the only difficulty that matters.
It's weird to have an easy mode that doesn't like let you progress, because I haven't heard anything since like NES games that do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of the point. That was kind of like their main inspiration. Game
I
design
guess,
wise.
but there's some inspirations you have to leave behind, honestly. And again, this is only from what I've heard, really, because
Yeah, I remember Serial tweeting about this actually, this very thing, this very topic about the difficulty. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of the reasons why I never got into the Souls games.
right, yes,
yeah.
yeah, because
Oh,
I can't get into the Souls games mostly because of the lack of narrative. I liked that Star Wars one though. I tried that on Game Pass.
Which one was that? Jedi Fallen Order?
Yes, because I felt it was a little bit more fair. It's still balls hard though, but still works. So I imagine I have Dark Souls original, and everyone made the joke about Cuphead Dark Souls stuff, and it kind of got to like a tiring point.
Yeah, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone says, "Oh, this is the Dark Souls of platformers. This is the Dark Souls of
Crash
insert genre
Bandicoot.
here."
Yeah, Crash
Crash Bandicoot is the
into
Dark
that as
Souls.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was really.
Yeah,
that's just really silly.
Toys for Bob saw the Dark Souls memes about the Insane Trilogy and was like, haha, that's cute. And then they made Crash 4 even harder.
Yeah, I know about Crash 4.
I tried a
know
bit of
that's
that.
that's kind of a bitch to 100%.
I've owned that on PS4 digitally because it was gifted to me like I think last Christmas, and I still haven't played it because my brother still has my PS4. I've all been Xbox One at the moment.
Yeah.
But no, with Cup, when I eventually play Cup, I know that it's going to be weird for me because the cartoon gave like the bosses and such more character, so it's like, oh yeah, I'm fighting that person, but they're not speaking.
Yeah.
Have you seen the show?
Yeah, I have. It's actually it's pretty fun.
It's good.
I have,
It's good. It's just they are kind of stretching the truth when it comes to. Oh look, there's a season 2 coming. Technically, it's season 1 part 2.
Yeah, they only do that to not pay the animators.
Yeah,
Because
it's like
they just order one season and then just split it into parts. They release it into parts.
yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
that's a whole other.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, but no, as I say, it's it looks as good as the game. I know that the style is like slightly different.
Yeah, I know. I think it's like instead of frame by frame animation, most of the time it's actually tweens, but it still looks really good. Like
Yeah,
especially
it's like
when they
you can have.
especially when they bring out the 3D models, the stop motion models for the backgrounds
Oh yes.
and whatnot. It looks really, really good.
You can have good tweens and you can have bad tweens. Like, there was actually a Cuphead knockoff. I think it was something called Magical Portals, and that had like a lot
Enchanted
of motion tweening.
Portals.
Enchanted
Yeah.
Portals, yeah. Did that actually come out?
I don't know. I need to look it up later.
Yeah, because I saw one Rebel Taxi video on it, and that was it.
Yeah. Same here.
Like, the bosses looked alright, but yeah, it's clearly just Cuphead. I know they were inspired by it, and the developers mentioned as such, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was like, it was skirting very close to the line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think we should hear more thoughts about the game from Palette.
Sure.
Yeah. So the game itself, people probably already know this because it's kind of a popular game, but it's kind of a genre mishmash. It's an action platformer, shoot 'em up, mostly just kind of like boss fights. That's the majority of the game, boss fights. And, nothing wrong with that. The boss fights are really fucking good. Like, good God. Okay. So, the game, of course, notoriously hard. And, of course, it's got that look. Really good look. Really good style. The whole 2D rubber hose.
Yes.
Fleischer style.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks really, really good. Really faithful, too. And it's like they put in a whole ton of work, to get that style right. I think they sketched and inked it on paper, and then they colored it on the computer. If they did like the full cell animation process of where, like, inking it on the cells and coloring it on the cells, that would probably be hell. I guess.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because even in traditional animation, I think they had to actually reuse a lot of the cells, like they'd wash them off. So any existing cells, those are a rarity
Oh wow.
in general for like any cartoon. In fact, I've always wanted to own jumping topics like that. I've always wanted to own a cell from something really stupid like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I knew you'd
Yeah,
say that.
those
Big
are
cell.
really common.
Like the Pingers
Adventures
cell.
of
No
Sonic.
one knows who owns that.
Oh. Oof.
No one.
Imagine finding
someone,
that. You'd have like a fucking fortune on your
Yes.
hand. It probably
No,
cost a fortune.
someone
Probably cost
did-
a fortune.
Someone did scan in something similar, but yeah, I mean, I think like someone probably, yeah, because it seems like something that they would make a sell of for Cuphead. But yeah, as a game, knowing how many frames you'd have to use over and over, it's like, yeah, the paper method is enough
Yeah.
because that's at least most of the faithfulness that you can apply before you'd probably go mad.
Yeah. And not even just like, going outside of the, the time put into this, because you can put a lot of time and, it cannot look good. But, this does look good. It looks really good. Like, even outside of like the animation itself, the designs and everything, that's kind of like the big reason for me to play. It's like to keep going. It's just like, seeing like the different phases of the bosses, their different designs and all that. That's kind of like the big reason for me to keep going. It's just like, ooh, this just gives serotonin to my animator brain. It's like, ooh, this is
You gotta
really
see all of
creative
it,
stuff,
yeah.
so good. Yeah. I'll get into the bosses later, but yeah, it's just chef's kiss, good shit.
Because I know some of the bosses through the show, like the vegetables were basically assholes to you.
Yeah, the freeloaders. Yeah,
Is there one that you don't have to attack and they'll just let you pass or something?
The
The onion. I think if you don't shoot the onion, it just lets you by.
That I don't know. I haven't tried that.
I think that might be a thing you can do. I'm not sure how it works.
Well, if that's a thing, then I haven't tried it.
Okay.
So
Might be worth giving a shot.
maybe in second
'Cause,
playthrough or something.
Like, do you collect like money or resources as you go, like for power-ups?
The money you get from like the platforming stages, that's the second kind of stages previous to the boss fights. Second kind of stages are the platforming stages. That's where you get the money. So, you go around, shooting enemies. It's more like Contra or Mega Man, like that kind of style.
The games I kind of want to like, except a lot of them are aged very badly. I want to like Mega Man, it's like, I don't know what the good ones are. So I tried the demo of Mega Man 11, I'm like, I see the quality here, and it's like, this is balls hard.
I haven't tried 11 yet. I didn't even know there was a demo until,
I think
when you said it.
Oh, really? Okay, I think it might still be on the eShop, so possibly worth a shot.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a shot later.
Mega Man 2 and 3 are good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, everyone
2
says
is probably,
but yeah.
Yeah, 2 on normal mode. That's probably the easiest for you to get into. I'd recommend that too.
Because Contra, the only ones I ever tried were Contra 4 and that crappy Rogue Core one.
Oh, was that like the latest one, Rogue Core?
One where it looks like a joke game and everything's like really murky, yes. And they released a demo of it, and of course that's why you see it now for like a $5 in bargain bins.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it just sold that badly next to copies of Metal Gear Survive, the game that doesn't exist. But yeah, no, Contra 4 I saw its qualities, but basically it did a lot of the whole dual screen flipping thing, so I'm glad Cuphead doesn't have that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was released during the DS era, then
they would
totally do that. Yes.
Yeah.
As for Contra, I've only played the first one on an emulator years ago. It was like a bootleg copy on my my old Game Boy Advance, my old GBA.
Okay.
It was like one of those multi-carts.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, so I think I tried it on that, and I didn't... Trying to remember, it's like, I don't think I got past like the waterfall, like the vertical scrolling one.
Right.
Like the first vertical scrolling stage.
Yeah. But no, that's how difficulty just is. It's basically made it as hard as possible because of rentals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so if Cuphead, I guess Cuphead, say if that were an old SNES, NES type game, then, it's like, oh yeah, you gotta beat it and then rent it again over and over until you get through it. Whereas it's just one of those staples that has to stick around, I guess, because if you have a short game, make it as hard as possible, then you just keep them going.
Oh, yeah. Well, thankfully, Cuphead, it has infinite lives, unlike those other games that
Oh, yeah,
that's kind of like, so you can kind of just...
Yeah.
That's a good thing, yeah. So it's not like... they didn't keep all the old school traditions. Just a few.
Yeah, like, I think if you omit one, then it kind of lessens the blow of the others. It would still be tricky, but, possible, potentially.
Yeah, tricky. Yeah, definitely tricky, because, like, it's pretty consistent difficulty-wise. Like, there are few dips, few spikes. That's pretty consistent difficulty-wise, because, like, I've died to the majority of the bosses about the same amount, I want to say. And so it's like, it's either, they're hard or I suck.
Did the Miss Chalice stuff actually come out? Was that yet to, like, arrive?
The DLC, that's not there. That didn't come out yet. It's coming out this year, though. I think in June.
Yeah, they had a big trailer at it was one of the best things at the Game Awards. Yeah, full song.
They did that song. They did, like, the song there. That was really cool. And they have, like, that trailer with the puppets, I think.
Yes, puppet.
Yeah, I haven't...
They really go all out on the presentation, even for, like, stuff outside of the game.
Yeah. Even with, like, the little commercials for, like, announcing, like, oh, this it's coming to this platform, it's coming to that platform. And it's like they always do like a cool little animation. I was, I was, just looking up some stuff, and I was watching that trailer they did. It was like the little animated short they did announcing, it was coming to Mac, and I'm bringing up Mac again. Okay, so.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't even know a Mac version even existed. I thought the Steam version would inherently just work, PC and Mac.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
I remember the PS4 trailer. In fact, I'll have to look up what it looked like. I just remember the PS4 trailer being like, "Oh, that's a fun little thing." This was before. I think this was before Switch. It was like Xbox One, PC, PS4, then Switch. I think, in terms of platform order. So it was one at a time, basically.
Yeah.
Cuphead PS4 trailer. But no, I remember it had the devil in it, which honestly, great character. Yeah, it was like a stop motion thing with King Dice and Cuphead dancing. I think that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. I assume it's PS5 compatible, so hey, even better.
Yeah, probably. I think all the PS4 games are compatible with the PS5, so.
Yeah, you can't play Joe's Diner though.
Oh no, not Joe's Diner.
Oh wow, someone actually heard of that? Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. I thought that was like a joke game.
It might as well be a joke game. Look it up after the podcast. It's something else.
Yeah. Okay.
If I went into that would be a whole rabbit hole. It'd be distracting. Anyway.
Oh boy.
But no, I mean, do you expect before the DLC is out? Do you expect it to be as hard or possibly even trickier than the base game?
The DLC. I mean, probably. More trickier, I guess. More harder.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm expecting, but I hope it's just because it's extra levels, you're paying for it,
Yeah.
You're paying for an extra challenge, I guess.
Because what I'm hoping as well is that once the DLC is out, they'll probably do a hard copy or something, because that's usually what they end up doing with most indie games, and I'm like, hey, I'd actually get a Switch cart of that.
Oh yeah, that'll probably be really nice to have.
Yeah, it may end up being a limited print or something, but I mean, I've seen other indie games get full store releases through Amazon when you least expect it. I just scroll through Amazon.
I know Sonic Mania. It's
yes.
I know that technically isn't an indie game, but that happened.
It deserved a box copy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got mine for the Switch.
Nice. Oh yeah, because it came in a PS4 style size case, but they had to add in a little bit of cardboard so that it padded it out to fit the Switch case.
Yeah.
It was fun. I just found it funny. It's okay, it makes sense to just make one sleeve and then just reuse it over and over instead of printing a new size. But I just found that amusing. So if Cuphead got similar treatment, I'm just imagining bright yellow box with the characters on. It's hey, Cuphead complete version. I don't know what they call it. They'll probably go for some pun, because Delicious Last Course is a great pun, and it took a while for some people to know what it stood for.
Yeah,
and it's not really it's not really a pun. It's more like an acronym.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit of both, I would think, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the only. When there's so much rampant pointless DLC, to have a quality expansion like that, that's worth paying attention to.
Yeah, I remember when the DLC was announced, immediately, almost immediately after the game came out. At least I think a year after the game came out. It was announced in 2018, and I remember in the first trailer, it's been a while since I've seen it, but in the first trailer it said coming 2019. Then it got delayed. Now it's coming out this year.
So the animation team have thought, oh no, we got to draw more of this. I don't know how long the actual development of the base game was, but it must have been
I think it was 4 to 6 years. I watched a documentary about it, about the making of it, or a video essay or whatever recently, and that's what they That's what they said. I think it's been a while, so
Yeah, I can see this
My
why the
mem- my
show went
memory's foggy.
tweening. Yeah, I can see why the
Yeah.
show went tweening, considering like that show took a while to come out as well, but not as long.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it was kept kind of secretive for a bit, and then it was like, oh, surprise, here we go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a bit slow the rollout, but then again, that's kind of how Netflix does things. You know, it's kind of like
that's
surprising.
a whole other discussion, really.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. Yeah.
It's like Green Eggs and Ham season 2 didn't get a trailer.
Wait, which season 2?
Green Eggs and Ham.
Oh, Green Eggs and Ham. Yeah.
Yeah, great show.
I
But the second season was just kind of launched like silently. Like they all, I mean, like, you know, we get Cuphead split up one season, and Green Eggs and Ham being sort of like, oh, here it is, season 2, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
watched that show yet.
It's really
Maybe
good.
I'll check it out. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
It doesn't have a game though, so
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, we're getting really off track here.
exactly. Yeah, but
So-
yeah. Any more about Cuphead?
I think I can talk about like favorite bosses.
Yeah, go for it.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, you know, the bosses, you know, their consistent level of difficulty. And we'll get into like the shmup stages, which are probably, you know, took a while to get used to, you know, compared
And
to
then, like, a
all the
plane?
other. Yeah, the plane.
All right.
So that took a little while to get used to compared to like the other styles because, you know, I don't really play that many shoot 'em ups, but you know, eventually got the hang of it, and they actually do have, you know, some of my favorite bosses. So I think my favorite boss is probably the blimp, Hildeberg. So it was just like I think that was when, you know, I realized, you know, oh, this is how the bosses are gonna be. Like, oh, this is like, because like the phases they just keep getting more and more extravagant, and it's like this just kind of magic. Just that's top tier, top tier shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at what Hildeberg looked like, and I was like, okay, I recognize the appearance. I like how she's described as an anti-heroine.
Yeah.
Like heroine,
See
it's
that.
just like what? That's just very strange way to describe a villain. I don't know.
I mean, that's it.
But yeah, no, I recognize the design. I just didn't know the name.
Yeah. So the phases, each phase is really, really good. It's like they each get more and more extravagant. Like, you know, first phase is just a regular blimp. Then she turns into either then she turns into like a bull, and then she turns into like either a big guy or two smaller angels. It's like that depends, because, you know, I die so many times, so of course I know this. And then at the very end, you know, she turns into this big ass moon, and that's probably, you know, the best. That's probably like the best form. It's like, whoa, because, you know, I was at that point, I didn't know that the normal difficulty actually gave you the D. So up to this point, I was playing on the easy mode, so I didn't know that last form existed. So it's like,
So there's modes that are locked off if you play on easy.
So usually like
Right.
the last phases are blocked off as well.
So basically, easy is just not worth doing unless it's
not
like more
worth
of a
doing.
practice.
Yeah, more of a practice, I guess.
Are there multiple save slots?
Yeah, I think it's like
Okay,
4
good. So
saves.
say,
4 saves.
so you wouldn't be entirely screwed. Like, say if you did play on easy and then thought, okay, now I know what I'm doing, and then start a new one on normal.
Yeah, I mean, you can also go back to the bosses as well and just do it on the normal difficulty.
Oh, so can you switch difficulty like mid game?
Yeah, you can switch.
Ah,
you can.
right,
Yeah, you just
right.
go back into the stage, and then it'll
Okay.
ask you the
That
difficulty.
doesn't sound as horrible now, actually.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, you're not stuck with one difficulty throughout the whole game. You know.
Okay, that's not too bad. So say if you were struggling at a stage, you could just switch to easy, but then you wouldn't get everything.
Yeah, you wouldn't get everything. You wouldn't get the deed.
Right.
Yeah, so you won't be able to progress by the end. So, but you know,
Okay.
so it's more of a practice, really.
Fair enough. Okay.
Second
I was
favorite-
expecting something way worse. Anyway, yeah, second boss.
Yes. Yeah, anyway, second favorite boss. Yeah, it's probably, I don't know the name of it, but it takes place in like a stage play and the boss is like an actress or something. That was a really cool boss because I love the theming of it. It's just a really good theme. So, and then I can't remember like all the phases, but like the
Sally's
first one.
stage play?
Yeah, Sally's stage play.
Okay, now I see her, yeah.
Yeah, so that boss is probably one of the easier ones. She comes later in the game after like a bunch of really hard bosses. So, it's like, so yeah, it's kind of like a breather, big breather.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I can relax a little with her. A little bit more compared to everyone else. So, yeah, I love the theming of, the stage play. I love the theming of each of the phases. I think, like, first you do, like, this wedding scene, then the next one is with this house stage. Like, there's this big house backdrop. And then the third one, I think, is, like, some kind of, Moby Dick style of thing. It's like a big ship, like that kind of backdrop. And then at the end, the audience is, the audience is applauding. They're throwing out roses, and you have to dodge the roses, and you also have to shoot at her at the same time. That I really like the theming of it. I'm just kind of a sucker for that sort of theming.
Yeah, I'm getting Paper Mario vibes in a way.
Yeah, absolutely, Paper Mario.
Yeah. So I'm glad that some games are carrying on that tradition.
Yeah. That, I guess, Bug Fables too.
Oh man, that was on Game Pass. I have it installed, but my Game Pass expired, so I'd have to resubscribe to play it. I'm sure I will.
Yeah, I haven't really played it yet, but looks pretty good. I'll give it a try, I guess.
I played Stick of Truth, which is pretty similar. But anyway, yeah. Is there a third Cuphead boss you wanted to mention, or?
Third Cuphead boss. I could talk about like the hardest boss, the one I have the most trouble with.
Sure. Might provide me some tips when I play it.
It's actually the one I'm stuck on right now. It's this fucking robot.
Okay.
I hate this robot so much.
Hang on, robot. I'll have to look this up.
Yeah, robot and a mad scientist. It's like this Iron Giant looking ass.
Okay.
Superman. And I was actually, playing it today, and I got a little farther in it.
Yeah, so it's Iron Giant and the Tin Man.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's the same world as the stage play boss too. So same world. Okay. Anyways, that boss is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm seeing like giant laser shots in the screenshots I see of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like, you have to go to the top of the screen to guide the laser to the top of the screen, but then you also have to deal with, the projectiles at the bottom, because, he shoots out projectiles at the bottom, two kinds of projectiles. There's like one on his chest, one on his stomach. The stomach one is like more normal projectiles at first that go in like a pattern. Then you shoot that down, then it gets replaced. Then the projectiles, they become homing missiles, and you have to avoid that too. And then while at the same time, the ones on the chest, the projectiles, you can parry those just fine, but like they're like lasers that you can, but then eventually they turn into lasers that like reach the top of the screen, and it's like, oh, that first phase is such bullshit.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of how to beat videos. Everyone's having trouble.
Even with extra health, I can't really get past him. I'm getting a little better. I was just playing it today, and I got a little farther. Like, I actually got past the second phase now, where it's just, the head launched off, and then, it's flying around and shooting out homing missiles, insane homing missiles. Yeah, I finally got past that phase because I found out a little bit of an exploit with the plane's bombs. The bombs are more powerful, but they shoot out in a kind of a weird way, the kind of weird arc. So it's a little more difficult to control. It's a little more difficult to control, but I think you can. But going into okay, so basically you can shrink down into a little smaller form, and you can go faster in it. And once you go out and you're holding down the fire button, it immediately launches a bomb. So that's kind of how I've been able to get past that phase finally. Okay. Now I have to get past this third. Yeah, now I have to get past this third phase where it's just the scientist, and it immediately opens with this fucking bullet hell shit, where it's just this. Yeah, where it's just it spread. There's shots everywhere. It's firing, straight out of the scientist, and it's oh god, I can't handle this shit. It's like I had to deal with this with the fucking burn. Now I have to deal with it. So I have to
what's your maximum health? What's your maximum health you can increase it to?
Default is 3 hit points. I think the max you can get is 4 or 5. I guess.
Oh, so only 2 more. Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'd invest my upgrades into first, to be honest. That's what I do in almost any game, although even then, I have a feeling there's probably going to be some other power-up I know I'm going to have to use.
Yeah. So, but the thing with that, the extra health is that it takes up 1 slot, and it's they're called charms, and they basically increase your attributes and whatnot. So it's one of them can increase your health, one of them can help out with parrying or whatnot, but you only get 1 slot. So it's either extra health, but weaker firepower. Yeah, that's. That
sounds ridiculous.
I mean, if you can just add all the charms, all the boosts and whatever, it'd be kind of, it's kind of OP, I guess. You have to. Yeah. There has to be some setbacks, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Yeah.
Well, I hope you get past that eventually. I mean, it seems like you're getting further each time. I mean, I imagine as a portable game, it's probably easier to dive back into rather than because I was going to buy an Xbox One, but I thought, handheld it might suit better. And of course, if that hard copy eventually does come out, then that's even better. I'll probably just double dip myself anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we have is there any other thing we should discuss about Cuphead before we move on?
I guess we can talk about the soundtrack. That's kind of the only thing we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah. I've heard a couple tracks. I liked what I heard. What do you think?
I like what I've heard too. I really like what I've heard. I really like the style, that whole big band style. I think it's really good for the game. Really good style for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it kind of has, aside from the first world, which I had already heard, I don't think it has left that big of an impression on me because, you keep dying over and over again and you don't really hear that much of the track. So, I should probably listen to the soundtrack on its own sometime later.
Are the sound effects overwhelming, or?
No, it's like the sound effects aren't overwhelming. The sound mixing is just fine, but you're dying over and over again to the beginning of the boss and getting slowly farther and farther into it, and and because of that, you don't really hear much of the music at first. You hear more of it as you go along. I guess that's kind of another reward for playing, aside from seeing, what cool creative things are they gonna do for each phase of the boss. You hear more of the song,
right,
more of the track each as well. I guess that's another kind of reward for, getting better at the game. I guess. Yeah.
So it's
But
not only audio cue, but visual cue.
Yeah, visual cue. There's like. Yeah.
And I believe whoever composed the soundtrack never composed for a video game before?
Yeah, I think so. I remember, like, in that same documentary I was talking about earlier, they said that exactly. So, but I need to go back and check again. So I don't know for sure, but we'll see. It's like it's like this part of the segment is like. This part is like that living embodiment of that whole spreading this information online on purpose. I guess so.
So I guess that's about it for the soundtrack. I think that's about it for this game. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, 2 thumbs up for Cuphead. Go play it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I might check it out one day.
Yeah.
I'll keep it in
like
my.
it.
Yeah, I'll keep it on my radar. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
Hopefully you'll like it.
Okay, so I guess that's. I think it's about it to move on to my pick. And for this game, this game was in my backlog for quite a while. So Palette, the last time you were in the show, one of the games you talked about was a Sonic game. And guess what?
Oh yeah, I think that was like Sonic Adventure 2. I think that was one of the games.
Yes. Sonic Adventure 2.
Which version?
The one on Steam.
Oh. Did you manage to hear the game?
I skipped the cutscenes, but yeah, I was able to hear it fine, I guess. Like, the sound effects were a little loud.
All I know about it is like the audio.
Peaks
audio
a
is
lot,
like way off compared to like every other version, and the audio is still pretty bad in the old versions.
Yeah. Yeah, it peaks pretty bad on the Steam version, but I think there's like mods to fix that or whatever.
I only played it via a GameCube, which, to my knowledge, is literally the same as the Dreamcast original, except has less stuff.
The GameCube version, actually, I think that has
more,
better
actually.
multiplayer.
The GameCube one has more. The Dreamcast one has less.
Yes.
They run technically the same.
Yeah, basically the same. It's not like SADX or something.
Yes.
Where it's like
where they made everything look worse, or in the case of DX on XBLA,
even way worse.
The DLC for that game was just the stuff that was already unlocked in that version. Like they split it up. I don't know if 2 does that.
Yeah, it does that as well. Yeah, it does that as well. Because I played the game on the PS3's the PS3 HD remaster version. And yeah, for both SA1 and SA2, they split the.
They split.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
It just should be like not even the Do you know of the Dreamcast collection on the 360?
Yeah, I think I do.
They have Sonic Adventure 1, but that does not include the DLC with it. So.
Oh no!
You have the base game. Not that I cared about the extra content at all, but it's like, come on, it was there on GameCube. It's like they never put 2 on that collection.
Mission mode wasn't really that good.
No, I never really cared for it.
Yeah, but the Metal Sonic skin though. It's like, oh no!
I didn't. And the bacon suit Sonic.
What, bacon suits?
Yeah, there's an unlockable Sonic where it looks like he's dressed in bacon. It's meant to be like sports gear.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I don't remember that.
The funny thing is, we're mentioning all like the weird technical stuff before any sort of plot or gameplay. So Serial, do you have anything to say about that?
About what?
The plot or gameplay?
Yeah, it was weird, but the game overall is good. A little janky, but I think it still holds up for the most part.
Yeah, it's fun, but like it does that thing with like Sonic's Ring Dash, and it's like the same button for 2 different actions.
Yeah.
like the more you progress in the game, the more power-ups there are. So, like, for instance, you have that bounce move and you have the ring dash mode. You know, both, fine moves on their own, but the fact they're bound to the same button, I always found very strange, and you kind of have to, like, tippy-toe and make sure the prompt says what it's saying before you do anything. Because there's been multiple times I, like, jettisoned myself off a ledge instead of doing the ring dash. And it's like, it's not the worst thing ever. It's like, I've dealt with far finickier controls in platformers, but yeah, that was something else. I mean, what were your favourite stages overall? Like the types, because there's about 1 billion different types of gameplay in that title.
Yeah, it's just 3 in Sonic Adventure 2. We're still talking about Sonic Adventure 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 3. It's not that many.
It feels like
more
a lot.
Focused than it's more focused than SA1.
Yes.
And then SA2 is still like the 3
that is
best,
more focused, actually.
though in my opinion they're kind of worse.
What do you mean? Big's Fishing Adventure was great. Top tier content.
I mean, I'm talking about how they brought the 3 gameplay styles. The speed stages, treasure hunting, shooting. How they brought them into SA2 and how they made it kind of worse. In my opinion, at least.
Oh, treasure especially, yes, because that radar's busted. That radar's busted.
And treasure, I mean, like the radar is busted, but you have more moves. It controls better. I think the worst offender for me is probably the shooting stages, because I actually liked gamma stages in SA1.
They're more fluid.
Yeah, they were more fluid, but this one is like, oh god, in SA2 it's like, oh god, what happened? What did they do to you?
I love Eggman's yop noise when he jumps.
Yeah.
And it's that little noise when you have to lock on. Classic.
Yeah, never gets annoying. Never gets annoying at all.
I mean, did you think the space stage as Eggman was any better? Like, where there's zero gravity, because it kind of felt like you were more in control of your actions. Like, the desert one has to be the worst with him because of that sinking sand.
Yes.
I don't think I got that far, honestly.
Really?
For the episode, I think I just got up to like Tails' second mech stage, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just for that episode. I haven't picked it up since.
Oh, wow.
I need to go back to it.
Because I remember finishing it over and over on a GameCube.
I've grown up with SA1, a bit too much, I guess. Too used to SA1, how it is. So I can't really get used to how SA2 controls.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's kind of like the big barrier for me.
Fair enough. It's a weird one, because I've not seen how the HD version controls. I've been tempted to buy it because it is Xbox One compatible. Like, it's like £6. So I thought, okay, that's not too bad. But I'm thinking, Sega do a lot of sales, so I'm thinking, I'll consider it. I'm not in a massive rush to play it again.
Yeah, I got it in a Humble Bundle, I think. Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah,
there's like a whole bunch of other Sonic stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guys.
Anyways.
Guys,
we should probably get to your pick.
Yeah, we got sidetracked. We weren't supposed to be talking. We weren't supposed to be talking about.
This was the pick.
This is the build-up.
No, it's not.
Oh, now I know. Oh shit, I misinterpreted the whole thing.
Now we gotta talk about another Sonic game.
Yes, okay. Now I know what you're talking about, because I was wondering what's this got to do with it.
Okay. We should probably get to your pick. Sorry.
Yes, okay.
So last time, Palette, you were on the show, you were talking about SA2. This time, I'll be the one who have a Sonic game to talk about. For this one, I'll be talking about Sonic Lost World, aka Super Sonic Galaxy.
Pretty much.
That's a kind of the cliched thing to say about it. I've never played Sonic Lost World, at least the HD version. I've played it on the 3DS, the demo.
Oh no, I forgot it got. I forgot it had that version.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, the demo. It was the fun bits though. It was kind of fun. Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, I have it on Wii U, but only as a digital copy, and I don't have enough space to install it. Seriously, it's only a 6 gig game, and because of all the Smash Brothers updates that I dare not get rid of, I can't play it. So I'll just grab a hard copy at some point. I know it is also on Steam, and it seems to have some technical improvements amongst none of the gamepad gimmicks, which are weird, and I know that Cyril, you might have some stuff to say about them.
I think you played it on Steam, though. So.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yes.
I saw a Wii U copy in the thumbnail. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. The game was published by Sega, developed by Sonic Team. Came out exclusively for the Wii U in 2013, and was later ported for the PC 2 years later, which is the version I played.
Yeah.
You probably played the better version.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm usually not the kind of guy who plays video games on PC. But for Sonic Lost World, and yeah, for Sonic Lost World, I had to make an exception.
It's too special.
Yeah, you could kind of say that. Yeah, so this game.
Oh god.
So this game, I believe, was the first game that was published by Sega that was exclusive for a Nintendo console. Because before that, Sega...
Exclusive for Nintendo consoles, I think there was Sonic Colors before that. There was also Secret Rings Black Knight. Unless you're talking about like the exclusivity deal, that was the... Lost World was the first one.
Yes.
To come out, yeah.
Yes, they struck an exclusivity deal with Nintendo, in which for a while all their Sonic games will be exclusive to their systems. I'm not sure if that covers the 3DS, but it pretty much covers the Wii U.
Yeah, the 3DS one, it has to be. It seems like it was part of the deal because there was a lot of Sonic 3DS stuff in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Varying quality, like always.
Yeah, starting with with the Sonic and Mario, the Rio Olympics in 2016, I think, being the last one.
That one's like stupidly rare, if I some reason.
Oh god, yeah, I think it really was rare.
Whereas Lost World is like relatively common by comparison, just because no one wants a copy.
Also because it's on Steam, so...
Oh yes, yeah, so yeah, value plummets when that happens.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the story for a little bit. So,
oh god.
Sonic's
I never finished it, so...
No,
I'm hearing the story.
I'm not gonna spoil the ending or something like that. Just a couple of things.
I mean, there isn't that much to spoil.
No, I figured not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So for the story, let's see. While chasing down Dr. Eggman, Sonic and Tails stumble upon a mysterious hidden world in the sky called the Lost Hex. There, they not only discover that Eggman has a hidden base there, he also built a machine that he plans to use it to siphon energy from the world for his plans to conquer the world. He also enslaved a group of monsters native to the Lost Hex who called themselves the Deadly Six to do his bidding, using a magical conch shell. When Sonic decided to recklessly kick away the magical conch shell away from Eggman, the Deadly Six immediately turn on both Eggman, Sonic, and Tails. And so the three of them decide to settle their differences aside and work together to stop the Deadly Six from using Eggman's machine to destroy the world.
Okay, I remember all that from the intro, but not the magic conch shell. What the hell?
And that's yeah.
I mean,
you see,
that was really in the story. That wasn't a SpongeBob joke.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But like, not exactly, I guess. I need to see it again because I don't remember Lost World story at all.
All I recall from Lost World was it had like the Deadly Six have like a couple interesting designs, and the rest are just really forgettable.
Yeah, we'll get to there. We'll get to
them later.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Deadly Six. We'll get to the Deadly Six.
Yeah, we'll get to them. So the story is mostly simplistic, just like in colors. However, it does have some badly written moments, like the scene where I mentioned earlier, where Sonic foolishly kicks the magical conch that Eggman had away from him, causing the Deadly Six to rebel against him. Or the one scene where Tails lashes on Sonic because he thinks Sonic trusts Eggman to shut off the machine instead of him.
Oh god.
Yeah, seriously, Sonic and Tails are very likable in this game. But I guess we could probably blame that on Ken Pontac and Warren Graff, who wrote the scripts for the main games from Colors Until Forces. Though I'll admit, Eggman does have a moment where he gets so angry he destroys a block of ice with his bare fists. Probably the only time you'll see Eggman being intimidating in the modern Sonic games.
Yeah. It's just like, you can't really see my face now, but I'm just like holding my forehead. It's just like, oh god, I'm remembering all this bullshit. It's just like,
yeah, most of this is new to me because even though I played the game, it was so brief because it was mostly just trying to get around the weird gameplay quirks. So of course, as a result, I didn't see much of the story outside of the intro. So if I did play it again, I'd be like, what the hell, this actually happened? Yeah. But that's, I don't know, it's like, it's weird, yeah, because I played a bit of Colors, and I remember that being, like, more quality, from what I gather.
Yes.
Like, I don't remember anything, like, really sticking out as bad, and of course I finished Forces, because Forces is incredibly short.
Yes.
I haven't played either Colors or Forces. Like,
Colors,
Colors
not
probably...
not that HD re-release, because apparently it's
yeah,
terrible.
Colors Ultimate, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably get it on Steam later, just for like the mod support or whatever.
I've heard
Probably...
Ultimate was mostly fixed after the last few patches.
Yeah, mostly fixed. I don't know if they're going to do like one more patch afterwards or something. Yeah. But like,
it's just weird.
It still feels like they have some more stuff to fix later on.
Yeah, because it's a Wii game that was already working. It shouldn't have been like that much of a problem to port it. Anyway, that's a different game though. But I guess with
I don't think they had the source code for it actually. I think they
no.
Yeah.
Silent Hill situation.
Not as bad, in my opinion.
Not as bad, no, but it's like, whoa, not what I expected to hear. So how does it play?
We'll get to there, but let's briefly talk about the Deadly Six.
Okay.
Ooh, boy.
Okay. So
The Deadly Six.
So I like the concept of the Deadly Six being a gang of enemies that challenge Sonic during his adventure in the Lost Hex. And while each one of them have different attack patterns and strategies to defeat them, at the end of the day they're still way too easy. You'll rarely lose more than a life.
Yeah, and they're all such lame characters.
Also, no. Also, they have all of them have well-written, unique personalities, like the crazy one, the fat one, the old one, the girly one, the emo one, and finally their leader, Zavok, who's just a talking reskinned Bowser.
Zavok, for some reason, is the only one to like show up constantly, and it's like, who is this man? Like, he just shows up constantly. I like the design of the crazy one.
It's never going to happen.
I like the design of like the crazy one, Zaz, I think, but personality-wise, I don't remember anything. And like, I completely forgot about old and emo ones. Those designs. Like the old one just looks like a shriveled raisin.
Yeah.
I don't even remember like half their names.
And like,
of course,
the green one, of course, like she gets the most like
the girly one.
Sort of like, yeah, it's just like, oh look,
I believe
she is. It's just Green Rouge the Bat.
Yes, the one everyone's supposed to get horny over.
But, like, she's not even that well designed. It's like, I don't see anything here.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, goth girls, I guess.
Plant lady. Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
If I'm playing Sonic, I don't want to remember Batman and Robin. But so basically, they're just very flat and don't really add much.
Nope.
Basically.
And even Sonic's interactions with them aren't that great either.
Yeah, I remember some really lame joke with the crazy one. That was so mediocre I could barely remember it, but I just remember like, oh look, they look at the fourth wall. They look at the TV.
Yeah, it's like it's not even that funny. It's just like colors had some memorable lines, had some good lines, like, you know, the copyright law, no copyright law in the universe. That was a good line.
Yes.
And it's like and it's like I don't care what you say. Balding McNose here is kind of funny, I guess. It's like everyone hates that, but you know,
Yeah.
it's cute, I guess.
I find it cringy, like way too forced. They even brought it. They even brought it back for Lost World.
Yeah.
Cringy with those hair.
pretty cringy second time around.
Baldy nose hair.
But yeah, the only time,
nose hair. That's the funniest thing I've heard all day.
So totally
calling him McNose hair.
So, as bosses, you mentioned they were like a bit too easy.
I mean, I think the one that kind of gave me a bit of a trouble was Zavok, but that's about it.
Because he was very easy in Forces.
Yeah, but
Almost every boss was.
yeah, Forces he was piss easy, way too easy.
So I guess it's like, hey, I had a hard time with this man here. Don't worry, you can kick his ass there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Bring him back for like a pointless cameo, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep bringing him back.
It's because, well, they made the model rigs. They got to get their money out of it somehow. It's like fuck chaos. You know, we'll just make him melt in a cutscene. Like we got Zavok is what it's all about. It's like they put him in the Olympic Games as well.
He's even in the Team Sonic Racing as well.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
I never played that.
Yes.
I almost forgot that. Is it bad I forgot that actually existed?
I mean, it's this kind of Sonic racing game. It actually is pretty good, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, it looked quality. It just sort of didn't really stick out.
Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere.
And it's like it
Just
probably would have been. I actually would have dug it more if it was just on foot again. That would have been funnier.
Yeah, Sonic R style thing, Sonic R 2.
Yeah, make it Sonic R, but good. You could try again.
I think I got this. Yeah.
Implying that Sonic R isn't actually already a masterpiece.
It's
I haven't played it.
I got it on as a free game as part of PlayStation Plus, Team Sonic Racing.
Oh, nice.
So I might eventually play it.
I'll play as Zavok and just every race Zavok, because no one else is playing as him.
And no one else is playing it, period.
So what was hard about Zavok's actual fight compared to the others?
He blocks a lot.
Oh, so Yakuza strategy.
Kind of. I mean, there's something about Sonic's attacks that I'll get more to as we talk.
Oh, I
about it.
probably know what. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, sometimes you don't figure out what kind of attack you should attack him with, use against him.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get to that probably along the way. Anyway, so let's talk aesthetically. So the game goes for a more basic but colorful art style, even more than colors, with terrains and structures that look heavily inspired by the Genesis games. Hell, there's even a lot of Batniks from the past Genesis games that makes their return in this game, like the Orbonauts, Bullhogs, Slicers, and even Cluckers.
Yeah.
Graphically,
Yeah.
Graphically, the game looks great for the time it was released, and it runs at a consistent 60 FPS, at least on the Steam version.
I remember it being pretty smooth on the Wii U as well. Then again, I don't really notice frame rate stuff unless something is like 1 frame a second. So any sort of dips my eyes can't seem to detect.
Yeah. I don't really like how Lost World looks. I think it looks way too simple. Like you say, it's more reminiscent of the Genesis games. Like the Genesis games didn't even look that simple. It's too bleh.
I mean, it certainly lives up to the word Lost Hex, where there's a lot of hexagons.
For the yeah.
I don't even recall there were that many hexagons. But
Oh, on the
think
map
there's only,
screen.
like-
The map screen is made up of hexagons.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah, and I think
I looked at the rest of the game.
Yeah, we'll
the
talk.
first level.
Yeah, we'll talk about the
I
level.
recall being very round.
Yeah, we'll talk about the level design in a moment. So yeah, we'll talk about it now. So for the level design, just like with the Boost games, Lost World has a 2D and 3D sections for the levels. For the 3D ones, most levels are designed to be tube-shaped, with multiple paths, which is kind of reminiscent of the classic Sonic games, kind of. Some of them are spherical, just like with the Mario Galaxy games, while others are flat, but kind of empty feels. Although each level contains a certain gimmick, like Sonic rolling on a snowball, or bouncing around in a giant pinball machine, similar to that of the Sonic 2 and Sonic Heroes. And 2D sections not all that completely different from past games. The only thing different is mostly Sonic's moveset, which we'll be talking about in a moment.
My favourite gimmick was him slamming into walls for no reason.
Oh yeah, that was. There are sections in the game where you're like auto runner or something like that.
Yeah, which really like threw me off. Like, because I'm okay with some variety in games, but when like the rules are changed, it kind of it's like, wait, what? Now that doesn't work, or this sort of thing suddenly happens. I don't know. It's just like I didn't even know there was wall running in the game for a while, because this is probably more of a gameplay thing, but how are the tutorials displayed on the Steam version?
I'm gonna be honest, this is a little funny. I played this game on a DualShock 4 controller, and for some reason, when you have to see the tutorials, you have to press you have to click the left stick on your controller.
What a weird binding, because on the Wii U gamepad, basically, no tutorial is immediately obvious. Like any new gimmick, you have to look at the gamepad and press the little question mark, I think, last time I played. Then it tells you what happens. And like, okay, I guess it was to omit the fact like there's, the gameplay being completely paused by tutorial pop-up. I get that. But it just seems like a weird omission of like info.
Yeah, but
I mean, they gotta make a use out of that gamepad somehow.
Yeah, and actually the funny thing is, mentioning the gamepad gimmicks, I don't remember there being like a whole bunch. It kind of just played like a normal game. It was weird.
I think it was just like the wisps, like a few of the wisps. That's it.
I always found the wisps confusing in most games. Like the powers were just sort of like thrown on you. It's like, oh, you got to do this. Oh, press a button.
We'll get to them in a moment.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But it's like, it's just like the fact that I don't remember what the gamepad gimmick was. When gamepad gimmicks are kind of my thing in the few Wii games I have, that kind of tells you something about how it could just be so easily ported to Steam.
Yeah.
Like with nothing lost in translation from what I gather. In fact, to my knowledge, I think you actually might just be able to use a traditional controller with the Wii U version.
Yeah, I think they patched that later.
Yeah, so it's like... it clearly was sort of an afterthought, possibly?
So, anyway, let's move on to the gameplay. So for the gameplay, Sonic Team decided to ditch the boost formula and introduce a new playstyle that's kind of similar to the one from the adventure games, kind of, with some differences in extra moves. For example, Sonic doesn't run by default, he jogs. But by holding the right bumper, he gets to run. Also, if you press the right bumper while he's still standing, he does the super peel out animation. It's kind of neat from Sonic CD.
I mean, I guess so.
Also, Sonic has a spin dash in this game for some reason, which, aside from some very few instances, I barely find myself using it. He also has a homing attack that when he performs it, that he can perform when a reticle appears on enemies and bouncing pads. You can also destroy multiple Batniks at once, which makes it kind of overpowered. Also, he can do an air kick instead of a homing attack, which when done correctly, he can send Batnik flying to the nearest one. Also, it can work on certain enemies who can't be destroyed with the homing attacks, with the regular homing attacks. So, yeah. And he can also bounce attack while in midair, in which Sonic drops on the ground while shaped like a ball. So it's kind of like I think it's similar to Sonic Adventure 2, I guess.
Yeah, bounce, the drop bounce attack, whatever it was called.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not the drop dash. It's something else.
Yeah, bounce.
I mean, I guess you can do something similar to a drop dash in Lost World. I remember seeing like some speed runs for Lost World where you can just like hold down the spin dash button and you can just keep on going, I guess.
Weird.
I didn't initially mind the trigger thing, to be honest, but at the same time, it's like a weird change.
Yeah.
At the same time, because it was the lower trigger on the gamepad and not the bumper, so it's the bumper by default on PC.
Yeah, it's then the right bumper.
That's such a weird, awkward placement. Because I mean, that's kind of, for me, it's kind of more of a secondary bumper rather than not bumper, secondary button rather than like a primary button for me personally. Where like the fact that like that is the default binding is a bit strange.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, how's it work? How did it feel to play with that though?
Oh, with not running by default.
Yeah.
I got used to it very quickly because the level design is it doesn't encourage you to. It doesn't encourage you to run all the time. There's a lot of more platforming in this game than the Boost games.
Okay.
So
'cause I can imagine that working, but at the same time, it's a lot of because I know there's this thing with Sonic games where they like to change up a lot, like per title. They never really stick to one type of game.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like the it reminds me of the homing attack. In one game, I can't remember which game it was exactly. Instead of hitting like jump and jump, you hit jump and another button in one of them.
That was Unleashed.
Unleashed.
That was Unleashed. Yeah, and that always threw me off. Because it still works, it's just like, why the second binding? It doesn't change anything up aside from being just another button to memorize. And then they changed it back after that. Then did the whole multi-target thing with Lost World, which, okay, that one should work in theory, but I always felt that would like easily veer you off like a platform or something if you used it wrong.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, because I can imagine you accidentally bouncing on a spring too early if you do it by accident.
I think that happens to me once.
Yeah, so like the fact that you're not fully in control just sounds like kind of a disaster, to be honest.
I think. Anyway, another addition to Sonic's moveset is the parkour system. In which
it's full Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, in which Sonic runs on walls upwards or sideways. Honestly, climbing upwards wasn't a problem to me. But running sideways was a bit tricky to pull off, so I didn't use it all that often.
I remember when I played it on the 3DS, I think it was like the same control system. It might be like some changes here and there. I remember that being tricky as well, going side to side.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, honestly, having to try and do the jumping from wall to wall, because it's not like smooth like something like Prince of Persia.
Yes.
That does wall running because you feel anchored to the wall. Here, it feels like you could slip off at any moment with like a slight wrong turn on the analog stick. And given that like the shifting levels and camera angles, it's it feels like not a risk worth taking, except there are like, I guess, like collectibles hidden in some of those more dangerous paths.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds fun. It sounds fun in theory, being able to, like, run across the walls as Sonic. Because it's like, he's fast enough, he could do it. But not with those controls.
No. Yeah. It could have been needed some adjusting, to make it work.
It's also because the levels are linear in themselves, but also they seem to have, like, a lot of alternate pathways.
Yes, that's why I mentioned that it's kind of reminiscent of the classic games. But I think
also the cancelled game, Extreme. That's what people also drew comparisons to at the time.
Funny.
Oh yeah, Sonic Extreme. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned
that's
that.
the kind of room.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that, because when they asked the producer, the director of the game, Izuka, if this game was inspired by, if Lost World is inspired by Extreme in any capacity, he denies it. He actually said we didn't even know anything about Sonic Extreme while working on this game.
Yeah, I mean,
He was
I
at
give it
Sonic
this.
Team at the same time as it was happening. How could he not know? How could he not remember?
I think it's just like it's gone on so long that it's like, yeah, we don't want to acknowledge this. But to be honest, at least I actually tried like an Unreal remake of Extreme at one point. Yeah, someone did that. Like they reconstructed it, and honestly, that game's perspective is interesting in theory, not so much to play. So I give Lost World this. At least the camera, while not the best, being in actual 3D and not like, Saturn 3D, is a little easier to determine where you're going, for the most part. So that's the one compliment I could probably give to the level design from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continuing with the Sonic's moveset, he also has a double jump. And while not as high as the one from Colors, it gets the job done. Mainly because Sonic can grab into ledges, which is a pretty useful addition in my opinion.
Yeah, that I could see. Did any other Sonic game do that, or did they just drop it straight after? I can't remember any ledge grabbing from later.
No, I believe this is the first one.
Okay. Yeah, this game was a lot of firsts and a lot of lasts.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, they're kind of okay. They only get. Yeah. Also, there are, like I said, there are sections in the auto runner sections in the game where Sonic is constantly running in a straight line, similar to that of the Mach speed sections in Sonic 06. They're kind of okay. They only get annoying when you try to nab a hidden goodie like an extra life or red rings. So yeah, red rings are back in this game.
Yeah, the things I barely know exist because I'm terrible at finding the alternate routes.
Yeah, and the worst thing about the red rings in this game is that when you collect one, you don't keep it unless you reach.
Unless you beat the level.
No. Unless you reach a checkpoint.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's more reasonable. I guess than you can only keep it if you beat the level.
Yeah, it gets annoying.
Because good lord.
Because I believe they fixed that. They fixed that with Colors Ultimate.
Okay.
Yeah, once you collect a red ring in that game, yeah, you keep it. You can keep it. You don't have to do it all over again. Okay, for the difficulty, the game starts relatively easy, but be prepared to die a lot in later zones, especially during most of the later boss fights, like I mentioned. Luckily, the game is generous with lives. Whenever you get a game over, the game will give you at least 9 lives. And
Did I mention something funny about the lives?
Yeah.
Okay, with the Wii U version, did you know that more lives was a pre-order bonus?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
It was some I don't remember how many they gave you, but it was like, hey, get from GameStop and you get more lives in the game. It's like, no, thank you. Just like, no, those are things you could just get in game. Like that's when you're really stretching for pre-order bonuses. It's like they're already bad enough, but it's like when it's a thing you can easily get in game through normal gameplay, it's like sounds even more pointless. I actually got some bonus ones after playing the demo, so at least that made sense. Like you play the demo, your save carries over to the full game.
Weren't there some exclusive levels for pre-ordering as well? Wasn't there
Not
We'll get
not for pre-ordering, but that's a separate.
We'll get to the DLC's levels later on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's something I didn't mention. When the game first came out, when you collect 100 rings, you don't get an extra life.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too.
Yeah.
What? So wait, it's just lives, no ring lives.
Yeah, but
so they had to fix that later on, a basic mechanic.
Yes, they later patched.
Yeah, that was fucked.
Yeah, the game was much tougher back then.
So, did they patch it for Wii U, or was it just Steam?
Yeah, I think they patched it for Wii U.
For Wii U and Steam.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know of that.
Yeah, it was bullshit. Yeah, but at least they fixed it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not the first time the Sonic team did something stupid.
Yeah, Sonic has paid deal. Well, it was going to be paid DLC in Forces, and then they quickly retracted that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't think anything topped that in terms of dumb stupidity. It makes the Lost World one seem tame in comparison.
Yeah. So let's get for the game's level structure. So for the game's level structure, the game's overworld, the Lost Hex, is split into 7 worlds, each with 4 zones, with the 4th zone only being unlocked if you freed enough animals from badniks and animal capsules. There's also a 5th secret zone that you unlock if you defeat the final boss. No, wait. There's also a 5th secret zone that you unlock if you collect enough red rings. Sorry. There's also an 8th hidden world aside the 7 main worlds, in which you unlock after defeating the final boss. And I'm gonna be honest. This world, the 8th world that you unlock after defeating the final boss, has easily the worst zones in the entire game. They're either too bland or too frustrating. Especially
you get worse. So you get worse levels if you do better in the game.
I know.
What? Because I didn't even know. I don't even know how long most Sonic games are. I know they're not like the longest games in the world, but of course, being that I'm not that great at most of them, it's like I don't finish most.
I'd imagine Lost World being one of the longer ones, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little longer than Colors.
Man. I actually want to finish Colors just because it's like, well, I have a copy and I liked what I played. Whereas Lost World, it's like just gives me this sort of factor, which I know I'm already getting from what you're describing.
We'll get to that. So speaking of the 8th world. Like I said, the levels were either too bland or too frustrating, especially the 4th zone. Let me talk about the 4th zone.
Oh no!
And where you're in a picture this: you're in an auto-scroller, jumping between floating bubbles, and when you jump, you only go one way, and you can't control your movement mid jump. And if you touch any corner of the screen, you die.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Also, each bubble has either a spike mine, which bounces around once you jump away from the bubble, or a weird fuzzy Pac-Man monster that will follow you once you're freed from the bubble, and they can only be destroyed using the mines that were inside the bubbles and in the zones. The zone ends with a giant fuzzy Pac-Man who slowly chases you and can only be destroyed by aiming these bubble mines into its mouth. The zone ends when it dies. And like I said, I don't like this zone at all. I got like 3 or 4 game overs before I managed to beat it.
Yeah, that sounds...
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
No. So, wait. Because given all these extra zones, is there any sort of reward or incentive for actually doing the bullshit ones?
As far as I know, no.
Right. So there's more game, but no point to it.
Yeah, it's just for bragging rights. That's it.
Oh, right. Okay. So basically, just bonus levels.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But those aren't the only zones in the game. There are additional 3 DLC zones in the game that are tie into other game franchises from both Sega and Nintendo. The first one is the Nightmare Zone, which is a nice bit of a fan service to the fans of the Night series. It starts with like an auto runner, but then in the middle you get into a boss rush with the Deadly Six. And then ends with another auto runner, and then it ends. It's simple, but the music is cool. You should check it out.
What's this? Was that level on? It had to be on Wii U. I think I have it downloaded, but I don't remember if it was paid DLC or not.
I think it.
Yeah, I think it was. I think there was like a separate version where you could get it. I don't know if it was DLC
that's
or
why
not.
That's why I don't have it. Yeah, because I got the game. The funny thing is, when I got my copy, it was actually with Mario Kart 8. Like, they did like a little promo where if you buy Mario Kart 8, you get a free Wii U game with it, and we chose Sonic Lost World. And, yeah, probably not the best choice, because there were, like, so many others, but then again, in retrospect, we got hard copies of most of the other games in the deal anyway, so it was fine. But yeah, the Night Sword, yeah, none of this is familiar to me from what I'm scrolling. I mean, it looks fine.
Yeah.
Is it on I assume it's on Steam as well, or someone modded it in.
Yes. No. It's in the base game.
Oh, great. Yeah, so the Steam version is immediately a better deal.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, so like I said, there's the Nightmare Zone, and there's the next two zones, which are officially only available on the Wii U version, but not for the PC version. But thanks to the lovely and dedicated Sonic modding community, you can download these two zones and play them on your PC for free. The first one is Yoshi's Island Zone, which is an entire zone in 2D, and an homage to the Yoshi series, specifically Yoshi's Woolly World, which is the latest game in the Yoshi series at the time, when it was released on the Wii U, and where you collect eggs, coins, and stomp on Shy Guys.
Yeah, I remember those. I remember that one being interesting. It was just such a weird mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, these ones always looked cool to me. Yeah, the Yoshi's Island one, and the next one you're going to talk about.
Yes.
These always looked cool.
Yeah. And finally, we got the Zelda Zone, which is easily my personal favorite zone in the bunch, even though I've never played a Zelda game before. Mainly because you get to explore a piece of Hyrule in a non-linear fashion. Eventually you're gonna have to go through a cave and finish the zone by collecting the legendary Triforce. Also, Sonic is wearing Link's tunic in this during the zone. Also, instead of collecting rings for health, he has hearts, just like with the Zelda.
And rupees.
Yes, you collect rupees also instead of rings.
No, that was a DLC level I played a lot. I think it might have even worked with the demo. I can't remember. Like, you have the demo, and I think you can activate like the free levels. I'm not sure, but I'm glad that they are on the PC version as well. Considering like not everyone owns a Wii U.
Yes.
I can't even begin to think of like the technicalities behind porting those, but I'm glad someone did it.
I believe it was last year the modding community finally managed to get
like
it.
Some reverse engineering stuff, I assume.
Probably.
Yeah, but I'm glad that's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember liking that level as well. Like the Yoshi one was like fine. It's just like I don't think Lost World's 2D segments were like ever my favorite.
Yeah.
So as a result, like the running around sort of stuff, and just the fact you had like Link as Sonic in the Link outfit was just neat to see as well. So you know, more it was like more of that weirdness, please.
Yeah.
Like the Knight's one would have been improved more if he wore a Knight's outfit.
Maybe.
But the Knight's level still seems fine. Again, that's literally the one I've not played.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it for the fifth, the levels and stuff like that. So let's move on to the Wisp power-ups. They return in this game with no story explanations for their existence, by the way.
I think they explained like why the Wisps keep returning in like another game or in the comics, but they never explained it in like a main series game why they keep returning.
It's like we got this gameplay mechanic, we've got to keep using it.
Exactly.
Anyway, I mean,
like
good for Sonic Team. That's kind of like a rare thing for them to do. You know, actually bring back the gameplay mechanic.
I guess it's just maybe they're marketable creatures. It's like, oh look, we got the Wisps again. You like the Wisps, right?
Yeah, but they already have a marketable creatures. The Chow.
Yeah, but they need more. They need more, shall we say? Like, what are Chow? Sorry, the Sega executives can't hear you over their cash money rolling in. Actually, though, they would actually earn more if they did start doing more Chow Garden stuff. Truthfully, really.
You never know. Anyway, back to the Wisps. Okay, so the Wisps, like I said, are back from Colors, Each gives Sonic a temporary power-up. Some returning from Sonic colors, like the cyan laser, the yellow drill, the green hover, and the orange rocket. And they almost play exactly the same, with some minor differences. There are also brand new wisps introduced in this game, like the Crimson Eagle, which lets you soar through the sky for a short while, which can help you bypass some hard sections and nab some extra goodies. We also have the Indigo Asteroid, which lets you absorb some destructible platforms and badniks and make a debris for the asteroid ring to grow. That one is a little awkward to control, honestly. Another one is the Magenta Rhythm, which can let Sonic bounce, flip upside down, and collect musical notes as a way of moving around. Honestly, it's my second least favorite Wisp power-up in my opinion, with the first one being the Black Bomb, in which Sonic transforms into a spherical bomb that rolls around and explodes. I tried it a couple times, and I never figured it out how it works. Also,
that's me with most of the gimmicks, yeah.
Also, it can only be obtainable via completing certain missions for Omo Chow, or completing DLC zones.
Oh, so regular Chow aren't available, but Omo is.
Yeah, we'll talk about them briefly. However, in the Wii U version, you could only obtain the Black Bombs via the Miiverse, which is no longer online. There's also another Wisp power called the Grey Quake, but it was exclusive to the Wii U's offline multiplayer race mode. This one lets you create a shockwave that stuns your opponent for a few seconds. Personally, I never tried it, as I was playing the PC part of the game, which officially did not have the multiplayer mode. But I believe it was also added in via mods, just like the DLC levels.
I've never heard of that. But, maybe I can look into it, see if that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in general, like I mentioned, like I think I briefly mentioned about like my experience of the Wisp stuff. Like I think some power-ups are fine. Others make sense. Like drill. You get them in an area, you can drill through stuff. Others are just sort of. I never really liked the rocket ones in general because they always felt a bit slow. Or the floating ones. I think that there was like one floating power-up that I was just like, I just didn't find it useful whatsoever.
Green hover?
Yes. I think, wasn't it like a really slow hover, if I can remember correctly?
Yeah, unless you're next to a collection of rings, and you could do what's called the ring light speed dash.
Oh, the light
speed dash.
Yes,
yeah.
You could only do that with the green hover.
Because see, I actually forgot Wisps were part of Lost World as well. It's just like, oh man, like what? Like yeah, the fact that there were no story explanation as well, it's just weird.
Yeah, and the new Wisp, with the exception of the Crimson Eagle, the rest of the Wisp powers were like meh.
Yeah, I remember the Crimson one being pretty useful in a particular desert area, if I'm correct.
Yes.
There's a lot of dumb stuff in that one.
Yeah, and I believe in the Wii U version you can only move around using the Wii gamepad. But again, they patched that later. So you can use
like motion controls, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, the funny thing is, as I mentioned earlier, I like my gamepad gimmicks, but sometimes you kind of wish there is an alternate, like, normal control scheme for most of this stuff. So yeah, that's just like I imagine it would be like it's like I imagine that being like a non-issue on PC at all, but on Wii U, unless you're like, I guess you're dead set in front of the TV with the gamepad up at the right angle, it would be just horrible to control. I remember it being okay-ish. I don't recall using that power-up a lot, though.
Exactly. So, I guess we should move on to the soundtrack. Tomoya Otani, who's been the main sound director for the series since Sonic 06, handled the soundtrack for Lost World. And for this game, he went with the more upbeat and cheery soundtrack, mixing orchestral music with heavy focus on big band jazz, and some instances of electronica and rock. Honestly, while I wouldn't put it on the same pedestal as like CD, the adventure games, Colors, or Mania, even Unleashed, I think it's still a damn well-crafted soundtrack that's worth listening to, in my opinion.
I haven't actually listened to much of the Lost World soundtrack. I should probably, get around to that, I guess. But like,
give it a listen. Give it a listen. My favorite tracks are.
I listened to
my favorite tracks
I've
are.
listened to a couple.
My favorite tracks are. My favorite tracks are Honeycomb Highway, Juice Archipelago, Sea Bottom Segway, which is
Sea Bottom Segway is a really good one.
Yeah, considered by many to be the best track in the entire game.
Yep.
Snowball Waltz, Double Down, Tilt the Machine, and Silent Forest Zone 1, which sounds like something you'd hear in the Rouge the Bad level in SA2.
Yeah. Nice.
So I guess the only thing I have my final thoughts on Sonic Lost World is overall I don't think Sonic Lost World was that bad of a game. Sure, it had its share of problems that could have easily been addressed and ironed out in a potential sequel, but I have no regrets playing it. It's just a shame that fan reaction was so mixed and polarizing that Sonic Team had to return to the boost formula with their next game, Sonic Forces, in an attempt to appease those who hated it. But most of you already know how that went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's just hope they finally. Let's just hope they finally get it right with Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, given that like it has the open world and like the fact like Lost World seemed to kind of do that sort of thing, it's a possibility. But we'll see, given that they do change gimmicks every other game.
Yeah. I don't even know how it plays yet, so...
No, aside from that initial teaser, it's like, how the hell is this going to
it looks pretty at least. Otherwise,
at least on... I don't know how it's going to run on Switch, considering those ports can sometimes be a little compromised. Sometimes pretty good.
Also, I don't know how they're gonna do open-like world with the boost formula, because boost formula works for the most part with linear levels, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they'll go. I don't think they'll go for boost this time.
Probably not. I mean, I'm hoping it's, if they had to, a sort of in between.
I hope I can just roll in this. You can't. Have you noticed this? Like, you haven't been able to fucking roll in these games. It's
really?
Like so long.
Oh,
yeah,
just like a duck roll.
Yeah, just roll like in the classic games or something.
Oh! Speaking of rolling,
that'd be interesting to see in 3D.
Speaking of rolling, have anyone seen that Roblox game, whatever this thing is?
I saw it on. I've seen it on my timeline. Yeah. Looks interesting.
Yeah, no, that would honestly surprise me. That was like an official thing, because I thought Roblox was just like this rogue area where it was
like this hell world.
Yeah, whereas now that's like actually looks pretty alright. I mean, at least visually, I don't know how it plays.
Yeah,
it looks alright, I guess. It looks like it plays alright.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be hilarious if this ended up being better than Sonic Frontiers.
I don't know. Given Sega's track record, it might end up being that way. I'm at least hoping the Frontiers one is at least ends up being good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna have its faults. We all know it. I mean, like again, knowing the vagueness of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have I'm keeping my expectations in check for this game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, always do that when, like, not much gameplay is being shown off. I mean, if there's a gameplay demo, then I'll probably be more reinvested if it, like, really introduces some, like, interesting mechanics.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So, yeah, back to Sonic Lost World. In conclusion, Sonic Lost World was not that bad, but, yeah, it could have been better. But, do I recommend it? Do I recommend it? I'd say... Yeah, but only for like after a price cut. Like,
That sounds about right.
yeah, if there's any version you should go with the Steam version. Wait for a Steam sale and get it for super cheap. Add a few mods and
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds about right.
yeah, and boom, you got
Sounds
yourself.
like the way to go, and considering not everyone owns a Wii U, the best way to go. Glad they ported it in the first place, at least to something.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah,
I think that's about it.
yeah, that's about it for Sonic Lost World. Like I said, recommended, but only for like a price cut.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's about it for them. For my thoughts, I think it's time to move on to you, Otis. I believe you got a few games you want to talk about. What you got for us?
Right, so, start from my bit here. Right, so, the two games I have to talk about are, the Psychonauts games. All two of them. I mean, there are three, technically, but that's a whole other thing I'll get into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I can summarize the story, not in full for the first. I could just say the initial premise of the first game. So, you play as Rasputin Aquato, a 10-year-old boy with psychic abilities who runs away from his home to a summer camp for psychics. So, while learning to control his powers and exploring minds with the help of his new friends and mentors, he stumbled upon a plot which could threaten the future of all psychics. So that's the basic version, without many details, being very vague. So yeah, essentially the game is a collectathon platform, although I say platformer, it's more like, I guess, semi-open world with platforming levels and
Yeah.
RPG mechanics.
Yes.
So yeah, like you have what's called a psychic rank. So as you find collectibles and do other tasks around the campgrounds and the levels themselves, you essentially level up, gain more abilities. Some are more tied heavily to story missions.
Yes.
Basically, like you have a set like like a range of abilities that you gain throughout the game, and you can go back to previous levels with them. So like Raz has the usual sorts of platform abilities. You can jump, you can climb, rail grind, which I don't know who started that fully. I guess it had to be Sonic.
I think
Yeah, probably.
Because I always thought it was Ratchet and Clank.
that was the first game I played with.
Adventure 2.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank was the first game I played with the rail grinding.
Yeah, it was the one that did it the best. I think Sonic was fine, it was just a bit floaty, but yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it's not used a lot here, but it's fun when it is.
Yes.
And actually, it's kind of fitting given the main character's circus background. Like, you can even, like, trapeze swing, so really adds to it.
Yes.
The abilities themselves, they kind of help more in combat and exploring, so you essentially have things, they're called psi powers. So like one's a mind laser, another is levitation, where, well, it's not really floating, it's more like you travel on a orb and you use that to float around, and invisibility, where you can just sneak up behind enemies and give them a good shot before they see you.
Yes.
So each level is like very varied in its way, which is the main appeal of it. So some of it is the usual platforming, others are more combat or even strategy focused. So thankfully not on the level of Brutal Legend, which was another Double Fine game I really wanted to like. But I couldn't get into it because the strategy was just not for me.
I played that game back when it came out.
Did you ever finish it?
Yes.
How?
It was.
How did you finish it? It feels like really like broken in places. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just really shit at strategy.
I never played a strategy game. I managed to beat it.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, I think maybe I'm just not. Maybe I don't have all the abilities I need yet. I don't know. But basically, I mean, given that this was made before Brutal Legend, I guess it was like, hey, what if this one level were like a full game?
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, have either of you played the game yourself, the first one?
I haven't. I have not.
Okay.
So
I played.
I haven't played either one.
I played the first one a few years ago. I played the PS4 the version that was in the PS4's store, which was a port.
Ooh, I'll get to that.
Yeah, that was the one I played.
I'll get to that version later, in terms of my notes.
Okay.
So let's see so each of the levels you have the ability. So as well as the open campground where more areas open up as you go along, essentially you have the main area. There's like a lake, other such. There's like caves and such to explore. So there's quite a lot to see. So you get the ability to dive into different characters' minds as main levels.
Yes.
And that's where main gimmicks appear. So each level, it represents each character's psyche, essentially. So, for instance, the stoic Sasha, who's like, he looks a bit like an agent from the Matrix movies, except he's actually friendly, although he's still very strict. So he has a strict, organized mind. So like, it's very uniform, very black and white. It's basically a Rubik's cube.
Yes.
In monochrome, and then like Raz mucks something up, then it gets all unpacked and he has to kind of put it back together. So there's fun stuff like that, and there's collectibles and such within that, sort of hidden with each phase, followed by a boss battle. So that's usually how most levels go. And then you have the more free-spirited Miller, who's kind of has a psychedelic 60s inspired roller disco level.
Yes.
That's probably one of my favorite ones because it feels the most open.
Yes.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Among many others, like some of which are like so strange, I don't want to spoil them for anyone who's not listening, which I know you haven't played it, so it's okay. So, one of the main collectibles are the figments of imagination. So those are one of the main things you use to level up your abilities, as well as vaults, which actually give like little bits of backstory within the level. I didn't end up finding all of them. I found a majority. And some are legitimately like, damn, what did this person do? Sort of levels. Like, honestly, for like a 12+ game, it goes kind of hard on the... I wouldn't say mature content. It's just more like, it kind of reaches a little higher in terms of story ambition.
Yeah, that would.
So it's like,
that's what makes Psychonauts stand out from other most platformers of its time.
Yeah, because I never played it until like years after it was out, because apparently, because it was published by Majesco, and they're often known for publishing like shovelware crap.
Yes. Blood
Rain. A lot on the Wii.
Mm.
Oh god, yeah.
Blood Rain, I don't think was published by Majesco over here. I can't remember, honestly.
Okay,
so... maybe the first one was.
Maybe.
But,
I always thought it was published by EA or something.
No, EA published Brutal Legend.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What was funny was, they didn't. The later Steam version removed the EA association, so I think they managed to buy back the rights or something. I don't know. It's weird. At least the Steam copy doesn't mention EA on the page, at least to my knowledge. It is mentioned on the. It's funny because it's not part of the EA Play section on Xbox One, I don't think, via the Game Pass.
Huh.
So let's see. So let's see what else is there. So I'd say the main positives are like the funny, twisted humor and like unpredictable narrative, because this thing goes in directions that you just don't expect. So that's why I'm trying to be vague about it, because otherwise I'd spoil the fuck out of it, basically. I mean, even then, I do see myself replaying the game and being surprised over and over again, because there was a lot that I missed on my first playthrough.
I might replay, give it a second playthrough someday. Before.
Yeah, I have it on Steam, I think, as a second copy. The characters are great as well. It's like, as I said, I like Sasha and Mila a lot. Those two are great. Raz is good fun too. In fact, it took me a while to realise he was voiced by the same guy who voiced Zim, Richard. I can't pronounce his second name. Horvitz, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was also in Destroy Humans.
Kind of just like his normal speaking voice. You should listen to his normal speaking voice. It's exactly the same.
I know he was one of the Angry Beasts as well.
Yeah, Billy from Billy and Mandy.
Cartoons.
Yeah,
he might have been Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents. I don't remember.
No, that was someone else.
Okay,
was,
right.
Carlos. That was Rocky.
Right. That's just Rocco.
Yeah, that's Rocco.
Nice. Nickelodeon.
I believe he's also voiced one of the masks in Crash 4.
Oh yeah, I think he was. I think in the brief time I played for on PS5 on my Wales trip, yes, I knew the voice immediately. It's very distinct.
Yeah.
He's also Pox from Destroy Humans, which is weird because when he dubbed in lines for that later game, they sound completely different to the old dialogue, where he puts on more of an Invader Zim voice compared to the more stoic delivery. But yeah, no, his voice adds to the best of it, even though he's not really playing a wacky character. It's weird because I usually expect his voice to go more wacky. I mean, the rest of the voice acting is great too. I know there's like voices that I should know, but I don't memorize them off the top of my head because I'm terrible at like memorizing them. But yeah, no, it's just a great character to play as he doesn't, annoy the crap out of me, unlike a lot of platformer characters. Anyone played Legend of K?
Legend of... Nope.
No.
I've never heard of it.
Nope.
Look it up. The voice acting is something else. So I would say that the only flaws are I really did not get on with the PS4 PS2 port because Serial, it sounds like you had like a different experience to me.
Experience for what?
The PS4 PS2 port. Like, how did it run for you?
It ran mostly fine, but it somehow had a bit of a graphical issues, a little bit.
That port hitched for me like crazy constantly. It was just like, as you were moving, like the audio would pause, and so would the gameplay. Like it's like you were like running it over like I was running it over a modem.
Weird.
Like the only reason I got it was because it was cheap. Yeah. It looks. Yeah. I mean, of course, being a PS2 port, it looks blurrier. But that's fine. And also, had this weird audio doubling issue where the soundtrack, it sounded like it was playing two instances at the same time. Just slightly separate. It was weird.
Were you
like it was really distracting. I got as far as the disco level before I realized it was a problem.
Were you playing this? Were you playing this on a base PS4?
Base PS4
probably has something to
and
do
being
with
a PS2. So maybe, but then other PS2 game ports have been fine on PS4, so I don't really understand what that problem would be. So what I ended up doing is once I got on Xbox One. Since I had an Xbox original disc already, I played that, and that one was absolutely fine. So, I mean, it was the platform it was built for originally, because I think it got a PS2 version at the same time. I mean, it must have, because I saw one copy of it at the time in a Woolworths, which was like a UK shop. They didn't do many games. Their GameCube section had like one Harry Potter game in it, so they were pretty bad at that. That's why they shut down. But yeah, I don't know if that's just how the PS2 version runs. So, yeah, that's all my knowledge really. So I would say, the audio doubling, yeah, that was also pretty bad. On top of just like the general like weird lagginess. So when I played the Xbox One version and realized, oh, it's fine. I don't know, it made me question it slightly. So, but anyway, the Steam version seemed fine as well, from what I saw a friend play. What was it? So, aside from one crash, it was fine on Xbox One. It had like one crash where like the audio like did like this like beep. It was like a which I've not really had Xbox games crash all that often. I find them very crash free. But like that's the only flaw I could really say really aside from that. I
mean, Xbox games are probably not going to be crash free any longer because they bought Activision and they can.
Yeah, after they sent vicarious visions to the Call of Duty mines, sadly.
Yeah.
And I heard vicarious visions got merged with Blizzard too, so like they're
God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Psychonauts. So I won't say what the game's ending is, but basically it does lead into like a mid game that I can't play because I don't have a PlayStation VR headset.
Yes. What is it called?
It's called
Psychonauts.
Rhombus of Ruin.
Rhombus of Ruin. Yes.
Which it did get physical in America actually. It came with a code for the first game. The box is kind of ugly though because it's not a sticker on the front. It's just kind of Raz floating on top of Raz's own face. So yeah, like it's a mid game. So since I couldn't play that and I didn't even watch gameplay, I just skipped straight to Psychonauts 2. Which the gap between them is probably something I should mention first because, okay, first game was 2005, and then this VR game was 2017, and I don't know when the Fig campaign for 2 came out or started, because I know that part of that was them having to buy back the rights to the first game, or to the rights to the game series in general.
Yes.
So I don't know how long that campaign went on for, but it was very, very successful. Like, they used Unreal Engine, and such, like and I only played it because of Game Pass, actually. Because on its own, the game is like, I'd say it's like a relatively expensive purchase. It's like in the £50 range. I would say it's still worth it, but man, it's like, oof, it's a high-end title. So yeah, the story literally takes place minutes after the first game. Like, seriously, it's like no time had passed. They even make, like, jokes of that in the game itself.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, despite the real-world time gap, for them, it's like, oh, it's just the next day, literally. It's, like, kind of funny, actually. Because it's like literally no time had passed, given, like, the quality of the game as well. So, all I can say is that, like, after briefly recapping whatever happened in Rhombus, Raz has new allies and they have to partake in an even new, more dangerous mission, and that's all I can really say without spoiling anything, because this, like the first game, it goes places and further, if that's to be believed. Like, I didn't believe it at first, but yeah. Yeah, Microsoft partially funded this as well, but it is multi-format. Like, you can buy it on PS4, you can buy it on GOG, you can buy it on Steam.
Yes.
So, you know, it's funny because, yeah, you can technically have this Microsoft published. It's on everything but the Switch. And truthfully, I don't really see it fully running on the Switch anyway. So yeah, no, I was gifted with it. Gifted like 2 months of Game Pass, and I thought, hey, Psychonauts 2 is one of the top games. So instead of spending, like, even at a sale price, it was like £30. So, you know, it was it's still on the pricey side. So I thought, hey, instead of like dropping this amount of money on it, why don't I just like use this pass, try out a bunch of games, including Psychonauts 2, and make that, before the pass runs out, playing the full game, because it was like 2 months worth of it. So I got to play like Hitman 3 and a bit of Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Also great games. So gameplay wise, I would describe it as the same but more refined, because like a little bit of the control clunk still exists, but for the most part, it's like I'd say it's like the smoothest a Psychonauts game can feel. What's weird is though, Raz feels like lighter. I'm describing it as he felt heavier in the first game, which was like a slight bit of adjustment to get used to. But like other than that, I mean, it's weird having to describe control, really, because I mean, would you agree that Raz felt kind of heavy in the first game?
I honestly didn't quite notice. I mean, it wasn't horrible to control, but
no, it wasn't horrible. It was just like a weird difference I didn't expect literally playing the first game and the second, like relatively close to one another.
Must be, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, again, like I'm not going to describe the plot, but yeah, it just outdoes the first one, like in almost every aspect. And the first one had a pretty good story as well. So it's like, it was clearly something they had in mind for like years, like even while the first game was being made. I'm guessing because they probably wanted to make this sooner, but like given the gap, it was like, okay, like we have to throw as much as we can in here. Like it never feels cluttered. Like there is the exact right amount of content to make it feel like a substantial experience, really. So we do have some new characters. So I forgot to mention in the first game you meet like a bunch of campers as well, and they are some weird kids. Seriously, like there's one who like burns squirrels with his mind.
Yeah.
Dogen, I think was his name.
Dogen,
and,
yes.
There's a bully kid who calls you a word that would probably get you banned in the UK or something.
Aww.
It's funny because like this game got like a 12. It begins with S and P. That's all I'll say. It's kind of a rude, forbidden word here. I won't say it out loud. It's funny because like the first game is rated 12 for violence and bad language, but the second one only got like a 7+ for violence. So like, you know, the funny thing is the second one actually feels more violent because of what's going on in the story. It's weird. So yeah,
You know how
basically,
standards change.
yeah, you do meet some like, so you're basically in the second game at like the main Psychonauts base, and you do meet some interns, but like they're not as memorable as the campers. They're not bad, but they're just kind of there, if that makes sense. Like they don't have that sort of presence to them, basically. And also some characters like Sasha and Mila also fall into the background a little bit, but as a result, like the new characters, they're very fully developed as a result, because there's more time focused on them. And honestly, like some of the new characters, they felt like they've always been there. Like they're not afterthoughts. They're not like, oh, we need a new character of this type. No, it feels like they're part of the world and they fit naturally in. Like heck, they could have even been in the first game and you wouldn't bat an eye. Really. So at first a weird note is more technical thing. At first I was worried about the game's performance because of one thing, the intro. Because the intro has like a little recap video at the beginning, like with the first game in Rhombus. It ran out of sync for me. The audio was out of sync.
Weird.
And I was like, oh shit, is the game going to run badly? Because all I have is an Xbox One S, not a Series S. I wish Microsoft would like rename their units to something more understandable.
Yeah.
But
God, yeah.
But yeah, so basically the audio is like it like lags behind the visuals for that intro. But when you start the game, it's absolutely fine. And there's no other 2D cutscenes like that. Like not even in-game. And it's like, yeah, the in-game cutscene's absolutely flawless. And I was like, I don't know what was up with that intro, because I looked it up on YouTube and it was fine there. So don't know what was going on with my end. Because apparently it was like something to do with Unreal or something, where I guess like if you're not using an SSD, some elements can run slower.
Weird.
Like, I don't know. That's just a weird thing. But yeah, and also the only other fault I would say with the game is replaying levels. So in the first game, you could replay levels and you'd see the sequences as they happened. You just collect what you missed. In the second one, they're only broken up into specific zones, so you can't rewatch cutscenes or sequences as they happened the same time as you first played them. You can only skip around areas to pick up missed collectibles, so if you want to re-experience those areas again as is, you'd have to start a new game. And there aren't multiple save slots, there's only an autosave. That has me worried in certain games where, like, if the autosave fucked up, then it's like, oh, you know, I mean, it's fine, it was fine, you know, aside from, like, one crash the game had, which, yeah, it was like one crash per Psychonauts game. Like, no more than that. And not even, like, a hard crash, like, I could easily just, you know, close out the game on my Xbox One and resume, and it was no problem. And it was really worrying, because I was, like, right at the post-game. So, yeah, you can pick up... So... Yeah, so the fact that the first game allowed you to experience the story, the cutscenes again and such, was like something that was like omitted here as just a strange sort of thing. But other than that, it was like, yeah. Other than that, it's like I actually went out my way to get all the collectibles because it was just that enjoyable of a game.
I mean, in the age of the internet, like you can just look up the cutscenes pretty easily. Like back then.
You can. It's just there's something about playing them in the sequential order. But, you know, at least, yeah, people have, like, made full recordings, so it's not like you're out of luck there.
Yeah.
The only other thing is, it's like, there's bizarrely no physical copy. Like, this is a download-only game, treated like it's essentially a AAA game. But it's, like, sort of an indie game as well, because it was crowdfunded. So it's in this weird space where you can buy Bee Simulator on Xbox One as a disc. Yet not Psychonauts 2. So it's just that's sort of a bizarre, like, fucked up standard.
Because wasn't it released physically for other?
No.
For other systems?
No. The closest you can do is buying it through GOG, Good Old Games, because they're DRM free. So essentially, if you had a big ass USB stick, you could stick the game exe on there and just stick it in a DVD case. I mean, apparently backers did get some sort of physical version. I don't know what it looks like because I can't find any images of it, at least not off the top of my head. But yeah, it's just weird. Like that's the only like major shipping fault, and the fact it was snubbed at the Game Awards next to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Like, did you watch that? Like, it got literally nothing. And that was I call bullshit on that because it has a great narrative.
I didn't watch it really. I only saw like some of the stuff after the fact.
I believe
like it's an award show.
I didn't watch
it's
it
an
live.
award. Oh no, I watched it live. It Takes Two won, and that was fine. I just never played it.
same.
It Takes
So
Two
that's-
looks good though. I mean,
That's
even
part
though
of
it
Game.
is EA.
That's part of Game Pass as well. So I know I'll play it when I resubscribe. But the DRM-free version on GOG is probably the way to go if you didn't want to use Game Pass, I guess. I mean, Game Pass is already a good deal, but as a result, you treat it more as a rental and not actually owning it. It's weird. It's like it's sort of that's the weird thing about this game. At least, okay, I give it this. At least it's Psychonauts 2 is actually one of the main games that's on the banner of the Game Pass. So it's like, hey, here's one of our top games. So at least they kind of give it that recognition in that regard. I guess since Microsoft did pour a substantial amount of money into it, to get it out there and finish. I mean, I think apparently that was just the money used to finish off the game, to my knowledge, because like Double Fine were not purchased by them.
No, wait. Yeah. Double Fine was purchased by them.
Yeah.
Weren't there?
Yeah. No, like they were purchased, yet they were still allowed to do multi-platform. Except Switch, though I couldn't imagine running it on there. Yeah, it's like this weird deal that they have. There's like certain games that are still multi-format, yet they can be on other systems. It's something they've been branching out into. But yeah. Anyway, but but since that's like the main reason I was convinced to get Game Pass, then that kind of speaks for the quality of that title. I think even the first game is on the pass as well. Not sure if it is now. I don't know. Games like Netflix, games come and go out of that service, except the first party ones. The first party ones, they kind of stay around. But yeah, I would say So yeah, definitely. I would just class it as just a genuinely quality title. But of course, with stuff like that's like the slight caveat I would warn about, really. If that makes sense. So, yeah, no, as I say, play 1, then play 2. Both a great double bill. They are pretty like long, substantial games. Like even after you complete the story, there is still like a lot to collect. And I will warn you now, some of those figments of imagination, they're literally they almost seem invisible because they're transparent and they blend into the backgrounds.
Oh,
especially with some of the more psychedelic levels. It's not a flaw. It's not a massive flaw.
It's not a flaw.
It's
a feature.
It's a feature. It's weird, yeah, because you are given like I won't say the context of the power up, but there is like a power to help you find collectibles. But even then, I had to use a video guide. So
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Psychonauts 1, I didn't collect all the figments. I couldn't do it.
Oh no! I didn't either. No, I know there's like a little unlockable video you get, but I think Psychonauts 1. I think the reason I didn't do it was because it had some of that, 2005 game clunk. So it's like, but of course that was, but honestly, out of like most games from that time period, it's like this one's aged pretty well. Especially with its narrative. Like, I guess, like, for them, the narrative comes first as well as the gameplay, like in Double Fine games.
Yeah.
I actually need to go back and play most of their point and clicks. I did buy some of them on sale, like Grim Fandango and Full Throttle, which I own hard copies of, except I don't have a PC to play them on. So yeah, I mean, I know that they did Broken Age as well.
Broken Age. Oh yeah, that
yeah,
one.
they're yeah, because they mostly it's kind of funny.
That was their first Kickstarted one, right?
I think it was, yes.
Yeah, I remember hearing a lot about that, and then the first part came out, and I heard, and then just fizzled out.
It's part of Game Pass as well, so I know I'll play it at some point. But yeah, I think honestly they should do more platformers, because like the one strategy game I didn't like from them, like it's a shame because like Brutal Legend started off as a hack and slash, whereas at least with Psychonauts, that's a good platformer and sticks to being a good platformer. So it doesn't deviate too much. It doesn't like there are gimmicks, but they're not like Sonic style gimmicks, where you may or may not like them depending on the title you're playing. Hopefully they make a third one. It might take as long to come out, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
so.
Honestly, it feels pretty conclusive the way they sort of do things, but I would say there is, there's always room for more Psychonauts, basically. And I see like fan art of like the characters and such all the time, so it's just nice to see people still love and play those titles. Really, I mean, I will play Rhombus of Ruin one day if I get a PSVR. I think it is on PC as well. Or just watch a playthrough because it's like an hour long, so I'll take that as what I will.
I watched it on YouTube.
Was it good?
It was alright.
Or it was alright? Yeah. I mean, I honestly, yeah, 2 just fills in the gap for you right where it is. So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's a double thumbs up recommendation from me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but anyway,
Sounds like they'll probably get around to it.
I'm not used to being so vague, but trust me, I'm saving you the good surprises for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably get around to it someday.
Yeah, I plan on getting Psychonauts 2 one day. I liked Psychonauts 1, and yeah, I plan on getting 2 one day.
Yeah, since it's even better than nothing. Aside from like the way it's being sold, that's the only fault I can give against it, and that's more like a publisher thing rather than a developer thing.
Yeah, that's my issue with the. I have the same issue about the lack of a physical copy of physical media for it. That annoys me.
You can buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy badges and such. Like, there's merch. There's plenty of like Psychonauts merch. It's just like the game itself is just like sort of in the background, which is weird. I will buy one of those pin badges because it spins. Looks pretty cool.
That one annoys me about Psychonauts 2, the lack of physical disc. Because that also annoys me about another game. It's unrelated, but it also annoys me about it. What's it called? Ahead in Time.
Oh wait, no. There is a physical copy
For Ahead in Time?
on Switch. You can buy it on Switch. Hat in Time, yes.
Oh.
It's on Switch. You can buy a physical copy. Yeah, I don't know if it was PAL only, but yes, no, it one exists.
Huh. Was
Yeah,
it?
no, look on Amazon. It's right there.
Hmm.
No, seriously, I didn't even know a Bug Snacks physical edition existed until I looked it up.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard Bugsnax has a physical disc as well.
Yeah, I know there's but no, yeah, it's Hat in Time. I have it on my shelf, right here.
Ah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. That sometimes physical versions of indie games are not well advertised. The fact that you didn't know about it really speaks to that. I really need to finish Hat in Time. That's another quality platformer. Although the Switch version's performance is not 100% all the time, it's still pretty good. I imagine it like being smoother on PC.
Yeah. Also, this.
Yeah, it's another one I have to get around to.
Yeah. I plan on getting in that one day. But yeah,
I've got it on GOG. It's just that, yeah.
Yeah. And it also has mod support, so there's that.
Oh yeah.
An online co-op, I think.
Oh yes, I forgot that was a feature. Yeah, no, so, I'm glad that because with Psychonauts that's like strictly single player. Like, it kind of does best at that. I couldn't imagine any sort of co-op or multiplayer stuff with a game like that.
Yeah.
Like, being so strictly like narrative driven, which are they're kind of my favorite games anyway because I like following a story. It's why Ratchet and Clank games like that are sort of my top tier ones. Like open world is kind of like whatever, I can take or leave it. But give me something, not I wouldn't say strictly linear, but linear-ish, where there's enough freedom to do your own thing in the background.
Yeah, but with
that's kind of more my thing.
Something with a focused story, I think you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, or a Bayonetta where it's just like complete madness in a long string.
Yeah.
Sort of, like I love Nier Automata, but man, like I think Bayonetta's more replayable, but anyway, that's a whole other thing.
I mean,
yeah, platformer.
Yeah, nothing. Continue. I was
Okay.
I was going to say something about Nier Automata, but like, even then, that's kind of a spoiler.
I mean,
so...
I finished it, but I don't want to. That's a whole other discussion. That
I-
would go on for way too long.
No. I only played the demo, but I plan on getting it one day.
Please do. That would make for a great future podcast.
I might do it. Who knows?
Yep. Do it to completion. Seriously, there's so much. Like with Psychonauts, there's so much like in there. Like, so because honestly, there's so many like games in general where I just avoid doing stuff. Like a lot of Ubisoft crap. Like it's like, where's like you want to get by the grind. You don't want to do anything. That's just why I avoid playing a lot of modern titles. So when there's a modern game that has you actually want to collect everything, that kind of speaks to it. It's like, speaks to how well it's made.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably all I've got to say about the game before I tie myself out.
Yeah, you had plenty to talk about, and I might give the first Psychonauts second playthrough one day, the first one, and yeah, I plan on getting the second one. The second one, definitely, I'm gonna get it one day. It's,
sure.
Yeah, I'm keeping it on my list. So,
same here.
Yeah, so I guess that's about it for this episode of Backlog Banter. Before we move on, I'd like to, let's see. Yeah, so let's see where we can find you on the internet. Otis, let's start with you.
Okay, I'm in several places. So you'll find me mostly on Twitter and occasionally YouTube in the vague times I make videos on MeleeMario720. I also have an art page, Otis Beard Draws. That's on both Twitter and Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel for that as well, for the few little animations I make. And I have a VHS channel, of all things, on it's called Good Old VHS. That's old, not old, with OL. Where I upload old VHSs from my childhood, and I'm hoping to resume that with a new computer, because I need all the storage space I can, because each tape is like 3 gigabytes. Anyway, that's where you can find me.
All right. So, what about you? What about you, Palette?
Yeah. Basically, the same. I'm mostly on Twitter, PaperRag. That's my @ occasionally YouTube. Like, I haven't uploaded a video like a year, but I don't really do YTPs now. I mostly do like sort of analysis sort of stuff. I've been meaning to get back into it. It's been a while. Want to get back into the groove of things. Also, new thing, I have a Letterboxd account that's basically like, I don't know if Serial has heard of it. I mean, he probably has, but like...
Oh, I have that too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I have that. It's PallyB, because Palette was already taken. So...
I'll follow you there, actually, if I remember.
Yeah.
I can probably do that now. PallyB, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
No.
No, I use it too. Seriously, like I just half of my reviews are jokes, half of them are not. So
I don't review much on there. It's like I don't review much. I mostly just rate stuff. So yeah.
nice.
Letterboxd. Isn't that where you review movies and stuff like that?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a movie logging sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like IMDb, except it actually works.
I see.
Seriously, the app for IMDb is shit. It lags, whereas at least Letterboxd actually works, and yeah, that's all I'll say.
You say that, and like last week it was down for like a really long time.
Probably is.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically it for me.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it was great to have you both.
Yeah, no worries.
No problem.
And
yeah, I'm glad despite just glad despite some things, went all right.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's about it for me and my guests. This is Serial K, your host, and yeah, until next time, take care, guys. Later.
Yo.